Greg Schultz here on the field at Freeport High School as we get set for Freeport versus Baldwin. I'm with the head coach of the Baldwin Bruins, Steve Carroll. Steve Carroll, talk about interesting storyline here. It's 2 years ago you elevated your sophomores to the varsity level. Talk about the impact that's had for this team this season.
Well, 3 years ago we brought them up because we had very few guys on our varsity team. We brought them up, and now we have 14 guys that were on the team last year, and our whole offensive line each one has 3 years of offensive experience on the line, which really has brought our game to a different level for running and passing the ball. So it's really helped us a lot. Unfortunately, the cycle is going to start again after this year. So we'll give it a shot, and hopefully we do well this year and finish up today doing well.
Your defense has played a big part in this undefeated season so far. Talk about the play they need to come out today and do.
Well, the big thing here is that Freeport's a great football team. You can't say anything negative about them. They're strong in every area. But if we can slow down their passing game and pick a few like we have been doing all year long, we have 12 interceptions this year already, 2 return for touchdowns. So if we can have any kind of success like we've had in the last few games, we'll do very well today.
Weather-wise, were you hoping for a little more rain out here to slow down the Freeport attack?
You know what? I don't care about the weather. You know, it could be beautiful or rainy or cold or whatever. It's not going to affect either team. They're both prepared. We both practiced in the rain, and we both played in the rain and done very well. So that wasn't a factor at all. I'm just glad to see that the field's in great shape. So.
Okay, good luck, Coach. Coach Steve Carroll, the Baldwin Bruins. We get set. I'll be back with the coach of Freeport High School, Greg Schultz, here on the field. And I'm with the head coach of Freeport, Russ Sellen. Russ, you've had some successful teams over your 16-year span of head coach here. Talk about the success of this team.
This team has its own character. We lost a few real good guys last year. I wasn't sure how good we were going to be. We have exceptional skill kids, and we've really come together. Defensively, I didn't think we were that good at defense at the beginning of the year, but you know, they made a believer out of me. And this team really plays, the chemistry is very good. We're not very big, we're very fast.
How tough is this Baldwin team you're going to be facing?
Oh, they're extremely tough. They're as good a Baldwin team as I've seen since I've been here, and this should be quite a battle.
Any keys to the game you're looking for your team to do?
Well, we have to run our offense, and they're plus 23 in turnovers, so obviously we have to have you know, good ball security. I think that's really important, but we have to run our offense, and you know, when we're on defense, we have to make them go 10 plays. We can't give them the big play. They have some guys that can really just get it all in one shot.
Okay, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Moments away from kickoff, it'll be Baldwin versus Freeport. Ed and Wayne will be back to call the action.
As we get ready for the kickoff, Stephen Barrett's going to kick it off for Freeport. Baldwin will have to the top of your screen the scamp man, Ronnie Thomas. Of course, Wayne talked about him in the pregame. Will Barrow is the one to the bottom of your picture. Two teams, 5-0, on a roll. Baldwin has not had to come from behind this year. So Baldwin going offense, and they're backed up as Freeport gets what they want. Put Baldwin back a little bit on the heels, about the 22-yard line for Baldwin. The officials for today's game, the referee is Richard Hans, the umpire is Bob Lederer, the linesman Tom Smith, and the line judge Brendan Wallace. Now for Baldwin, let's check out their offense for you. Casey Carroll is the quarterback. The running back is Ronnie Thomas. He's a good one. The Carroll is a quarterback who's got a good arm too. The other running back will be the fullback. Here's the lineup with Joe Esposito, number 32. Jason Hoover's one wide receiver. Will Barrow's the other. The guy to watch is Will Barrow, top of the screen, number 22. Steve Carroll thinks he may be the best wide receiver in Nassau County. Certainly the best wide receiver Carroll's had his 15 years here. Baldwin runs to the power I. Immediately go outside. Pick up a few yards on that as they go to Anthony Gibbons. He is 5'6", 167, a junior, 3-year varsity, and that kind of talks about this Baldwin team with a lot of experience. The Baldwin offensive line. They've all played last year. On the left side is Andrew Berg, the left tackle. The left guard is Sean Healy. The center, Brian Applebaum. The right guard is Nick Galabelli. And the right tackle is Chris Berg. So Baldwin goes with a first down right off the bat. And they go from the 34-yard line. Again the sweep. This time it's Thomas. Flag is thrown.
We're going to get a holding call out here on the outside. Will Barrow, you mentioned his name before. Terrific receiver, a good blocker, but was a little too exuberant with the hands on that play. Got a hold of the jersey of Eric Rettmeyer out there in the corner, dragged him down to the referee right on top of the play.
Let's give the Freeport defense for you along the front line. It is an athletic one. It is quick. Left end is Adam Woodman C. The tackle is Bami Otulaije. On the other side, the right side, is Kyle Greenwood and Mike McQueen. The middle linebacker is Stanley Gutierrez. The cornerbacks are Eric Rietmeyer and Taylor Eason. The linebackers on the outside are Stephen Barrett and Eric Healy. And in the secondary are Javian Eason and Willie Seward.
Eddie, you know, Freeport plays actually a really good defense to go against Baldwin's offense. They play that 4-3 cover 2. That's the tradition here. They play a lot of cover 2 zone with the 2 safeties back, so they'll have people back there to try to corral the running backs from Baldwin, who may break off a long one.
So Baldwin goes 1st and 20 from their own 26, just underway. We're scoreless. Casey Carroll, left-hander, wants to throw. Oh, he missed the intended target that time as he tried to hit number 11 coming out of the backfield. And that would be Afosa Gabadia, one of the fine 3 tailbacks they have on this team for Baldwin.
Yeah, not a good read by Casey Carroll. You know, I just mentioned that Freeport's in that cover 2, and they have that corner sitting up there in the flat, and the last thing you want to do is throw an out route into the flat where the corner's waiting. So he almost got that picked off, and Alfosa took a big hit by the corner. So he's got to be able to read the defense of Freeport.
Carroll on the year's passed for 613 yards. He's a 3-year starter. He missed 6 games last year with a broken wrist, but he's a veteran, likely to attend Duke as a lacrosse player. So Baldwin goes 2nd and 20 from their 26. Draw play, they smelled that one out. That went nowhere. The draw play up the middle. Again, we talked about Freeport being aggressive. Woodman C comes in, number 58, makes the stop. Freeport very athletic on that defensive line.
Yeah, that's the way they've been here for the last couple of years. They got linebackers playing defensive end. They got 3 athletic linebackers. So everybody on the team on the defense team can run. They swarm to the football, and very difficult to play against because they're never sitting in the same spot, Eddie.
So Freeport defensively has done what they wanted to do to Baldwin on this first series. Not let him break the big play. Back him up, put him in a long 3rd and 16 situation. Fullback here is Joe Esposito. Running back is Carroll. In motion is Thomas. He likes to throw deep, this Carroll. Got a man open. Juggle, caught. Let's see what they rule. Out of bounds. Inbounds. No, it's out. They're going to call it complete.
I don't know. It looked like he was juggling it at the last second. He got hit and knocked out of bounds before he tucked it away. Basically what happened here, they had one receiver in the route, Eddie, and his receiver was covered. Willie Seward was covered, but he did it, Will Barrow was covered, and he did a terrific job of adjusting and breaking his route off, turning it upfield, and he was wide open. The Freeport defenders did not stay with him. And give credit to Casey Carroll. He hung in there and laid the ball out perfectly for the completion.
A 37-yard completion to Will Barrow. He's just an extremely soft hand. An outstanding receiver. So Baldwin will go 1st down and 10 from the Freeport 35-yard line. This is Thomas. He's got blockers. Close to the 1st down marker. Boy, he's got such nice moves, Ronnie Thomas. Versatile track man, has the excellent vision, and a good cutback runner.
And you see right away, Eddie, you know, they don't come out in their traditional power high. They come out with the single fullback and the 2 wings, and they're using the deception right now. They're doing a terrific job of mixing it up and causing some confusion on the Freeport defense. And then you saw 2 big plays right in a row. They had the 3rd and long situation. They come up with a big play, and they follow it up with a key run, a big run on 1st down.
So 1st and 10 now for the Freeport 29. Baldwin on the move. We're scoreless here. 9:30 to go in the 1st quarter. Esposito is the fullback. He's mainly a blocker. Look for the wingbacks to do the carrying. This is Carroll, awkward runner but effective, lanky, and he makes things happen, Carroll. They say he's lanky, he's awkward, doesn't look like he's doing much, but he's hard to bring down, but there's a flag in the play.
Yeah, we couldn't tell what that flag was for. We'll find out right now from the official.
So Baldwin has another holding penalty. That's 2 on Baldwin.
Yeah, it's another penalty in the negative direction. That's one of the things, Eddie, when you have 2 quality teams that are evenly matched, turnovers and penalties will dictate a lot that goes on during the ball game. And And speaking of Russ Selling during the week, one of the things he was concerned about was the multiple formations and sets that Baldwin brings to the table. Week in and week out, they come to the table and they will try to confuse the defense. And right now, they're mixing it up. Baldwin is doing a terrific job mixing up the offense.
Well, you talked about coaches selling for Freeport, Carroll for Baldwin. They said the same thing. With two well-played teams, the big thing here is not to make mistakes. Don't make mental mistakes. So Baldwin now goes in a long situation, 1st and 20 from the Freeport 27. Carroll wants to throw. Has some people open, but gets good pressure, and down he goes. Good pressure that time on the defensive side. Coming through to make the play, Mike McQueen, 6 foot 225 junior. He's getting better each week, and he showed it right there.
Yeah, did a good job. He started upfield on his pass rush, and then once Carroll stepped up the pocket and tried to slip out to the tackle tight end gap, he collapsed back down and did a good job holding on.
So Freeport, again, we see that athleticism of their defensive line. Again, Baldwin backed up in a long situation. Last time they bailed themselves out with a long pass play when they had 3rd and 18. Now they got themselves in a second situation and almost another area code here to go to. Call it 2nd down for Baldwin at 27. Will Barrow, 22, top of the screen, the primary receiver for Baldwin. That's the guy that Carroll likes to throw to. Slips, in trouble, down he goes. Couldn't get his footing. Good defensive play that time. Straight up the middle to get him. Adam Woodmansee. Good feet, very athletic, got the job done.
Yeah, but that was a covered sack because what Baldwin tried to do is they tried to use motion and action to the right side of the field, and they tried to slip the tight end, Andy Nozier, out the backside. But the safety, Will Seward, stayed on his hash mark and picked him up coming down the seam, and Carroll did not have anybody to throw to, and the defensive line was able to get to him.
Looked like the play developed very slowly, too. Had trouble developing the play. So now it is a 4th and 35 from Baldwin. They managed to control the ball for almost half the first quarter, but they're going to come up empty here. But this is very interesting, and they're going to should go to punt formation, but I don't see it happening. They're going to try to go for it. Let's see what they do.
Look for a quick kick.
They've done that. Both teams will quick kick. They're not. They're going to go for it. Carroll throws, and but for Hoover, incomplete. So you won't see that very often. 4th and 35.
That's confidence for you, but that may be a little overconfidence. In this situation, you got to kick the ball away, pin Freeport down, and try to pin Freeport down at their own end. You're giving up field position here early.
I made a mistake on that. I beg your pardon. That was a 3rd down play. This is the 4th down play. That made no sense, did it? So Kroll will come in and punt. Andrew Kroll. They rated him as a pretty good punter. Not much of a kick there, but there won't be much of a return on that either. So Freeport will go on offense, deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and they'll start off and they'll bring out Randy Mills, the quarterback, doing a terrific job this season so far. I mentioned 13 touchdowns in the open. Russell says the most touchdown passes he can recall being thrown in his tenure here at Freeport was 15. So Mills is already at 13 with a couple of games to go, so he should break that record.
Well, this year, as you said, he threw 13 touchdowns. He's also hit on 743 yards for the year. Averages about 17 passes a game. And he goes to the spread. They go for the Northwestern spread, they call it. Barrett's the big guy, but right off the bat, they're going to go deep down the field. And it is caught. Oh, a spectacular diving catch for Freeport. Coming up with a football is the guy that does it so often. Jude Aid Hammond Gilliam, number 5. He's 5'7", 150, the senior. He beat the defender for his 13th reception this year.
Terrific throw and catch. That's all that can be said about that play right there by Gilliam. Just a straight fade route down the sideline. What the spread offense does, Eddie, it spreads the secondary out so you can play basically 2-on-1. And you take a particular part of the field and you want to play 2-on-1 on that deep defender. And that time, Janad Gilliam made a terrific catch.
Single coverage. It's Mills. He wants to run. Didn't find much running room that time as he got a couple of yards up the middle. Baldwin did a good job defensively to close him down on the inside for Baldwin. Sean Healy, the defensive tackle. He's 6'3", 235, a senior, and a 3-year starter.
Mills is not as good as a runner as his predecessor, Chris Richey, but he does have 4 touchdowns on the ground. He's more of a pocket-type passer, but he does have some mobility, and he will run the football.
Now, what happens to Freeport sometimes, because the coach signals in the plays, and they stand and get them, they have a number of delay of game penalties, 3 or 4 a game. And again, they're going to go from that. You'll see them. This is basically where they're going to run out of that spread. We'll talk about why it's called the Northwestern in a moment. Another nice catch. Again, Gilliam. Again, sitting down nicely. The defensive back tried to come quickly and get him and really missed the play. Missed play by the defensive back that time for Baldwin. By Fosa Garibaldi.
Terrific play call. But they brought Hammond Gillum back after he beat him on a fade route. They're going to come right back to him, and he's going to run the hook route and get the first down.
13-yard pickup, so Freeport's got a 1st and 10. 5:49 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Baldwin and Freeport. The battle of the unbeatens. Nassau County, Conference 1. Mills proving roll left and throw. Tough throw, though, when you have to roll that way and not set your feet.
Yeah, we saw our first situation in the field being slippery because the receiver was running a curl route and he had him open, but he fell down because he slipped on the turf.
Talk about the Northwestern spread formation. Why they call it the Northwestern is Northwestern changed the spread a little bit a number of years ago. When the quarterback gets the ball, he's the tailback. Usually the pitch man, which is Barrett, number 2, trails on the play, and you throw it behind you, the pitch man. But the way Freeport runs it, they have the pitch man get in front of the quarterback, and they kind of shovel pass, lateral it forward. There's a double reverse. There goes Gilliam. He's going to try to get around the corner. Flag goes down, too.
I'll tell you what, number 3, Eric Wetmeyer, just absolutely destroyed the outside linebacker, Danny Vine, on the corner. Just absolutely leveled him on the reverse, but there's a penalty, and they're going to get holding on Freeport. But I'll tell you what, that block was something else. You can hear it all the way up here in the booth.
We heard a crack. I thought that's where your ribs were cracking there. I thought your old age was setting in, but that wasn't it, huh?
Well, not yet the old age, but I tell you what, it sounded very violent up here in the booth with that hit by Eric Wetmeyer.
Well, so far the game has moved along. We've now played about 6.5 minutes, and we've had 3 holding penalties. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, well, sometimes when you come into a big game, kids are just a little over-exuberant, and, when they're supposed to be letting go of the jersey, they get that little extra tuck because they know how important each and every play is in this ball game.
Because they're all fired up, too. They come in all pumped up. 2 teams, high-powered offenses, and neither team able to score here in the first quarter as Freeport goes 2nd down and 18. Both teams have been faced with a long yardage situation. Mills off the deep drop. Yep. Nice setup to the Barrett. Flag is thrown. Barrett goes inside the 45. Gets maybe about 7, but there's a penalty back here in the back where the quarterback, Mills, rolled away. He was being chased on that play.
Eddie, we're going to get a late hit on the quarterback.
Because that's where the flag was thrown, in that area, and that was the only person back there. Number 72 was the player.
Yeah, Nick DeBelli with the late hit. It took more than that one step to the quarterback after he let go of the football. They ran the screen play. It was a good call on that 2nd down and 18. They're going to get bailed out by the late hit. So another mistake by Baldwin in this ball game. Another penalty that's going to cost some yardage.
Especially after have Freeport backed up in this game, too, but Freeport been hit with a holding penalty. Freeport's in offense. They get in a rhythm offense, Freeport. They like to throw the quick pass. That time they went long. Here's the penalty against Baldwin. So now it's Freeport with a golden opportunity. Baldwin had an opportunity when they had the ball. They drove deep into Freeport territory. They advanced to the Freeport 27-yard or 27-yard line before they die with their drive. And now here is Freeport moving into Baldwin territory to the 28, where they'll go 1st and 10.
And Randy Mills coming out hot so far this quarter, 3 of 4 for 56 yards. You can see the poise because he's the general. He's got to stand back there, get the signal from the sideline, and give it to the rest of the team, and then snap the ball and read the defense. So he's got a lot to do before the snap, and he's doing a good job so far.
Mills giving to Barrett. Well, the first time Barrett carried the ball, slow developing play. That's like the old single wing formation the tailback gives to the fullback. That's basically what it is.
And Baldwin, one thing they do very well on defense is stop the run. And you can see right there, despite the fact that Freeport has got them spread out, they're still able to make the tackle on the run, and that's their strength. They're a little weaker against the pass, and that's the challenge today for the Baldwin defense, to defend the pass of the Freeport Red Devils.
So a pickup of 2 yards in the play, and the man who closed them down was Andrew Berg, number 75 for Baldwin, 6'3", 240, a senior, the leading tackler on this team. Also has a fumble recovery, knowledgeable, good feet. As they expected Andrew Berg to have a big game, Baldwin, in this game. Going to come back to the other side. Got him wide open. That's 6. Touchdown. Nice catch by Javian Eason, number 8. For Eason, that is his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
I tell you what, it was a terrific play call. They faked the sweep. They went with the half roll to the left side of the field, and they snuck Javian Eason back down the right sideline, wide open for the touchdown. I don't know how you can not keep an eye on Javian Eason, who's one of the best players on this Freeport roster, but he was able to sneak down the sideline for the score.
Well, Will Barrow that time got beat. You know, Barrow is an excellent receiver, but he plays the cornerback position, and sometimes he has baited people to throw in his area, and he gets burned at times. And that time, I think he overreacted and got burned by Easton. And the extra point is good.
We got another penalty, Eddie. We got another penalty on the play.
By the way, that touchdown pass was 26 yards. Gives Freeport a 6-0 lead over Baldwin with 4:18 to go in the first quarter while they sort this one out. That drive for Freeport was 87 yards, Wayne.
Yeah, and an excellent job of Kurt Smith, the offensive coordinator for Freeport, of mixing the play calls up, and that was a terrifically designed play. Caused a lot of confusion in the secondary with the fake run and then the half roll to the wide side of the field. The whole secondary just basically ran to that side of the field, and J.B. Neeson snuck down the sideline.
And the thing Baldwin wanted to do today, they couldn't do in that first round. Stop Randy Mills. Mills hit 4 or 5 passes, 4 of 5 for 82 yards. He wasn't throwing short all the time. He hit some big ones.
Yeah, you know, he can get the ball up and down the field. He can read the zones. He can throw the ball down the middle of the field, Eddie. And like I said before, he's developed a lot in the last 2 years in his decision making. He's very bold, but he's not stupid. He doesn't make those costly mistakes, but he will take the appropriate chances.
35-yard extra point by Mills will sail left after Freeport was penalized. The holding penalty puts him back, and so Freeport will settle for a 6-0 lead over Baldwin. We have 4:18 to go in the first quarter. We'll step out, but we'll come right back. Nassau County Conference 1 battle between the 2 unbeaten, Baldwin and Freeport, each 5-0 on the year. Waiting back deep to take it is Thomas. He'll get it at the 10. Tough footing, and Freeport swarms. So again, Baldwin back into bad field position as they take over inside their 25.
And Freeport is struck, you know, took the first shot here in this big game. You know, that's nothing new to Freeport. They have been outscoring their opponents in the first quarter, Eddie, 56-0 so far this season. And consider this. That's a touchdown against Baldwin defense. That's only the 3rd touchdown they've given up all year.
Set the defense for Freeport. Adam Woodman, who's played well as the left end. Memi Ojalaje as the tackle. The middle linebacker, Stanley Gutierrez. Kyle Greenwood is the right tackle. The right end, Mike McQueen, who will pick him up as we go along again. Now Baldwin goes to the I formation. They have not run this year very often. Gibson trying to get outside. So it picks up some yardage, and Baldwin able to move the ball on the ground some.
I'll tell you what, people say that this kid has got average speed. I wanted to dispute that because he is quick through the hole. He is quick, very quick through the hole, and you can see his vision. Once he sees what he wants, he hits the hole properly, and he's exploded through that little seam. So he's got terrific quickness and good feet.
Well, Anthony Gibbons is a 5'6", 167-pound junior with 4 touchdowns. Came into the game averaging over 78 yards a game. He's up around 400 yards for the season rushing, and that's a lot when you run 3 tailbacks out there.
Yeah, and no one's from this Baldwin team is going to have those gaudy numbers because they share the load, and everybody gets their touches, and they're just compiling yardage. You got to look at the total team rushing yardage at Baldwin if you want to look at their stats. 2nd and 2, bottom of the screen, Will Barrow. 5 receiver. Let's see if Carroll looks the other way, though. Pass is picked off, intended for Hoover. Thrown away by Freeport with an excellent interception by Taylor Eason. Freeport with their first pick of the game, first turnover of the game. Yeah, Casey Carroll against that cover 2 zone. Try to force the ball into the weak spot of the zone, down the sideline between the roll corner and the free safety. But Taylor Eason did a terrific job of continuing to drop in his coverage, even though he's supposed to have the short flat. He stayed with his man and did a terrific job. So, Eddie, the Eason family is an excited bunch right now because Taylor Eason is the younger brother of Javian Eason, who just scored that touchdown. So now the younger brother says, you know what, big brother, I'm going to make a big play today, and he came up with the interception.
Sure doesn't play like a sophomore. Freeport goes 1st and 10 from the ball at 42. There's that Northwestern option we told you about. Here is Barrett. Barrett trying to turn the corner. 5'10", 185 senior. He knows the system, and you see he's quick.
Yeah, Stephen Barrett just came with the option. They're going to attack the corner. They're going to pitch the ball to Stephen Barrett. And the key with Freeport is they have experienced receivers in that 4-receiver set, and they all block downfield. Once again, number 3, Eric Rettmeyer with a devastating block. But unfortunately, there was holding on the inside, and the play is going to come back.
So now we've had 5 holding penalties, and we still have 3:45 to go in the first quarter. Think the guys are pumped up a little bit? Clutching and grabbing. Freeport up 6-0 on Baldwin, but now they're moving back into Freeport territory from their 48.
And I'll tell you what, Eddie, there's holding. In football, there's holding on every play. It's just whether or not the referee is going to call it or not. And you can see they wait for the signal to be called in, Eddie. That's how they do it with the no huddle.
A lot of stories there as Freeport goes 1st and 20 from the 48. They give it off this time on a counter play, trying to make some yardage, but defense reacts well. Baldwin that time to stop the running back. Trying to get somewhere that time was Giovanni Eason. As they brought the wide receiver around that time, but waiting for him, Casey Carroll from the free safety position made the stop, and they pick up on the play a couple of yards, moving across the lawn to Baldwin's side of the field. Give him a 5-yard pickup for Freeport on that play.
Javian Eason, Coach Sullen said he's the most important player on this team because of his versatility. He lines up at tight end, lines up in the backfield, lines up at the receiver, and of course he plays the free safety position. Terrific athlete. Just to let you know about Javian Eason, what he knows about success, 24-1 as a starter for Freeport.
Can't get much better than that. Baldwin wants to come with pressure defense, and they do. They do a good job of swarming to the ball that time as they go nowhere. Good job that time by Baldwin reacting to the attempt to Freeport. It's hard to run out of this formation because your offensive linemen are standing up. They're not down to 3-point stance.
Yeah, that's the way they line up front for Freeport. And you're right, you don't get that drive, but they've been doing this here for a couple of years, and they're very good at it because they do a lot of passing. It's easy for them to get in their pass sets. And on that play, there looked to be some confusion, between Randy and Stephen Barrett, because Stephen Barrett had his hands up, looked like he thought he was supposed to get the ball, and Randy Mills took it up the middle. So it's going to lead him with a third and 15. This may be 2-down territory for them.
Well, they've not had to kick very often this season. Baldwin likes to play a 5-man front. Mills goes left and go down the middle. Got a man wide open again. He's got a completion. Another job. That time they find another receiver who's so good on this team. Eric Rittmeyer, number 3, runs very good routes, as you saw then. He got behind the secondary. He got behind Casey Carroll, the free safety. And now we've seen that twice in this game. Freeport receivers getting behind the Baldwin secondary.
Okay, you've seen 3 out of the 4 receivers make big plays so far. And that's what Coach Sullen talked about, this receiving core being the deepest he's ever had, because Eric Rettmeyer just beat Casey Carroll 1-on-1 up the seam, and Randy Mills once again doing a good job of orchestrating and then finding the open receiver.
30-yard pickup on the play. Mills 5 of 6 for 112 yards in the game. He can let Barrett go up the middle, but Barrett that time runs into Ehrenberg, number 75, who makes the stop. Baldwin needs a good defensive stand here, trailing 6-0 to Freeport with 1:34 to go in the first quarter.
And Baldwin, right now, they look like they're a little off balance defensively. They're used to teams just kind of lining up and giving them one set, and they can overpower them. But this Freeport team's going to give you different looks. They're going to throw different things at you. So you just basically, from Baldwin's perspective, you just got to do your assignment on defense, and everybody get to the football. Take care of your assignment and not worried about the different looks.
Here goes Mills. He likes to roll left. He's got a man open, but overthrows the intended target as he tried to hit Juade Hameen Gilliam, the 5'7", 150-pound senior. The other thing, too, when you play a team like Freeport, you can't emulate that offense in practice. Your scout team can't play this, so it's all brand new. You're really learning on the go as the game is developing.
And that's one of the things that concerns Steve Carroll, because he's never seen this offense before, this Northwestern spread offense. He's never seen it before.
Steve Carroll has coached 2 teams here at Freeport. Baldwin in, both teams beaten badly. Got him open, but over touchdown. Beautiful throw right in the lap of Rittmeyer. He put it away. Eric Rittmeyer, number 3, 6'0", 170, the junior, came in with only 7 catches. Number 8's a big one, his first TD of the day.
I tell you what, Randy Mills had a two-receiver package route on the outside. He had a corner route by Rettmeyer, and he had a slant route by the outside receiver. And the timing on that play, Eddie, he threw that ball before Rettmeyer broke open. He trusted his receiver that was going to get there. He put the ball in the proper spot, and Ed Rettmeyer ran a terrific route and made a great catch in the corner.
Well, Mills has certainly got the hot hand. He is so good moving right or left. He can do either well. 6 of 8 for 128 yards. Now Freeport will go for the 2-point play since they lead 12-0. Mills wants to throw. That take got it again. He hit him in the corner. It was Juad Hammond-Gilliam. He caught the first touchdown pass. Now he catches the 2-pointer.
Yeah, and Will Barrow had a chance to break that pass up, but just missed an opportunity of possibly making an interception. So they were able to get the 2 points to make up for the missed field goal. But once again, you're going to see Freeport. They run, it's a combination routes on both sides when they go to that even formation, Eddie. And then right now, Baldwin secondary has not been able to figure out the routes of Freeport. They look very confused in the secondary.
All right, what might be going on here as Freeport goes 43 yards in 8 plays. When you get a day like this where the field is a little bit wet, let's maintain the receiver has an advantage over the defensive back.
Absolutely, and we've seen a couple of guys on both sides, offensive and defensively, slip already. And what happens is you don't necessarily see them falling down, but what it is this defensive back, you cannot get out of your break as quickly as you can on a dry field. And not being able to come out of your break as fast as you normally do, that could make the difference between you getting the interception or the receiver making a touchdown. So on both sides of the field, and it's more going to affect Baldwin because Freeport throws a lot more than it will affect Freeport's defense.
A real test for Baldwin. They've not trailed all year long. They only gave up 12 points in 5 games coming in here. Now they're down by a count of 14-0 against the very fired-up Freeport team. Nice kick this time. Back up goes the big guy, number 22, Barrow. He can explode. He's out near midfield. He's got one man to beat. He's still going. Barrow may go all the way down the right sideline. Barrow goes in. No flag. Let's see if they're going to rule he stepped out or not. Oh, no. Touchdown, Barrow. 90-yard return for Will Barrow. That gets your team back in the game in a hurry.
And this is why Baldwin is 5-0. Right there is what you saw is the reason why they're 5-0, because they're able to make the big plays anytime from anywhere on the field, and that's why they've been successful in offense. So right there, totally outplayed in this first quarter, and they come right back with a tremendous effort by Will Barrow on the kickoff return. You can't say no more about what type of plays they make, and right back in the ball game.
And they had him hemmed in. Freeport had Barrow hemmed in along the far sidelines, and yet he still kept going, and they couldn't get him down. That was the amazing thing. He didn't have to cut back at all. He just took off down the sidelines. So now, getting ready to kick is Andrew Kroll. Has a strong leg. He shows it there, and it's 14-7. So just like that, Baldwin has answered back with a 90-yard kick return. It is Freeport 14, Baldwin 7. We told you it'd be interesting, told you it's going to be explosive. It's been that with 46 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Hey, Eddie, we as announcers, we come do these games and we sit there in the pregame, we talk about this kid can run great on offense. They got a great defense. They only give up X amount of points. And we always forget to talk in the pregame about special teams. And right there you saw how important special teams is. As coaches and players, we know how important special teams. But to the average fan sitting home watching this game, they always look at the offense and defense. And right there you saw how special teams can make a big factor in a game between two quality teams in a big situation.
You know, it makes a difference in Baldwin too. The Baja Man T-shirt factory. Hey, if you want some things done for screen printing, embroidery, you want custom logos for contractors, restaurants, companies, fundraisers, sports teams, and uniforms, of course, go see the Baja Man. That's Peter. He's with us up in the booth today. Give Peter a call at 516-378-1553. Peter takes care of a lot of needs for a lot of people, including us. All right. Seems like all we do have been calling kickoffs in this game. Now it is Baldwin's turn to kick, and Kroll will kick off. Back for Freeport, number 3, to the near sidelines. He can scamper. Eric Reitmeyer. But they're going to kick it away. They want to pooch kick it, and it goes out of bounds. That'll give Freeport good field position. Flags fly as late hits. There were late hits on the side over there.
Well, the ball went out of bounds. I think if the Baldwin people are upset because they thought that the Freeport player touched the ball in the air before it went out of bounds.
Wait for the call here as they come back and talk it over. Steve Carroll, the coach of Baldwin, conversing with the officials. He's not a happy camper about what went on over there. Officials will have to sort this out on a cloudy afternoon. You know, talked about Baldwin coming in here under Carroll's reign. Steve Carroll has not had much success coaching against Russ Sellian. Sellian's beaten Carroll's teams 7 out of 9 meetings. I'm sorry, 9 of 11 meetings, isn't it? 9 out of 11.
And they haven't had any success at this ballpark. They've come here twice and they've gotten destroyed twice, getting outscored 80-6 in those 2 ball games, 80+6. So they have not had great success at playing at Freeport, and not the great overall success against Russ Sellian's team. So, but this is a different year, and these are different kids, and these kids have been building their talent over the last couple of years with this Baldwin team. A lot of guys have been starting 3 or 4 years for this Baldwin club.
So the ball goes out of bounds. There is no penalty. Freeport will go 1st and 10 from their 40, and that puts Baldwin back on the heels. Baldwin has to figure out a way to get some pressure on Randy Mills because he's exploiting the Baldwin secondary. That time he gets his arm hit. It's going to be picked off, and an interception. And a beautiful job with the block. Pick off by Barrow, going up and knocking at the arm with number 72 for Baldwin. Got up and knocked it away on the arm. Hit his arm as Mills went to throw it. Keith Cunningham came through and hit the arm. Barrow made the pick. Baldwin returns it to excellent field position.
Right on cue, Eddie. You talked about getting pressure, and they got pressure. The receiver was supposed to run a stop and go, but he ran the stop, but he never went. So Randy Mills sat in a pocket waiting for him to get open, and it was too late. He tried to get the ball out, and he got hit. And Will Barrow, Johnny on the spot, comes up with another big play. And now Baldwin's going to have an opportunity to get further back into this ball game.
Kind of interesting because Barrow got beaten on the first pass, too. He was burned on that touchdown pass to Gilliam. Kind of, I think, riled him up that he made a mistake. He has some trouble as a cornerback, but he certainly has no trouble in terms of being able to break on balls and make interceptions. He does that very well. Barrow on the year comes up with his 5th interception. So now it's Baldwin. Still 36 seconds to go in the first quarter. Freeport leads at 14-7. Casey Carroll, the quarterback. Esposito in motion. They give it to Thomas. The power. Thomas has the first down as he cracks inside the 30-yard line.
And they're doing a good job off that right side, getting the corner every time they run that little counter. And the right tackle, Chris Berg, and the right guard, Nick Galabi, is doing a terrific job on our right side because most of their yardage on the ground has come off that right side.
Well, Baldwin, Steve Carroll told me, he said, you know, the trademark of our team is our offensive line. It's experienced. We like to hit those quick holes, make big plays off what look like simple plays. And that's what Freeport has to be aware of, because if they get a crease with their speed, the Baldwin backs can break it.
The offensive line for Baldwin is the most experienced part of their team. They got 3 guys with over 3 years starting experience on the varsity. I just mentioned Nick Gabelli. He's a 4-year starter, okay? So he's got experience. You can't, I mean, there's nothing he doesn't know about running this offense. So they're doing a terrific job out there. Andy Berg is a 3-year starter. Sean Healy, another 3-year starter. The center is a 2-year starter. So they have nobody on that offensive line that's a first-time starter. So they've done a terrific job up front.
And the guy they're running behind is somebody who's not an experienced player out of position, Chris Berg, number 58. He's a converted tight end, much improved. He's not all that fast, but he's tough, and he locks up defenders with those long arms. That's what makes him effective. So the first quarter is history, and it is Freeport leading Baldwin 14-7. We'll come back. With Wayne Morris, I'm Ed Ingles. Baldwin goes 1st and 10 from the Freeport 29, out of the eye. That's inside cracking on there with a nice run that time. Number 11 on a slant, up to make the stop. As Afosa Garbodia gets a little yardage, but Adam Woodmansee wraps him up again.
Another terrific job by Woodmansee, holding his ground, containing the outside of the right defensive end position, and then collapsing down on the running back to stop for only a gain of 1. Baldwin, Eddie, what they need to do is come out here now, start pounding the football, because their defense has been on the field most of this game, and they need to start trying to wear down the athletic defense of Freeport by running the football.
Baldwin really hasn't got that passing game going yet either. That's Thomas as he tries the left side, bumps off a blocker, makes something happen, gets the first down. He's inside the 10. Oh, what a run. Thomas with the afterburn his wings.
Absolutely. He's a track star for Baldwin. The kid's got speed, but he will run you over. Okay, and right there you saw his patience, because there was a lot of congestion on that left side, and he patiently waited for his crease, and then once he saw it, he looked like he was coming out of the blocks on a 100-meter-yard dash.
Well, he bounced off his own blocker, Andrew Berg, on the left side, as Thomas now has gained 42 yards in 4 carries, up to make the touchdown-saving tackle. Number 2, Stephen Barrett, showed his excellent athleticism, with Baldwin knocking at the goal line. After a 19-yard pickup, it's 1st and goal to go from the line for Baldwin. Well, they try to get some yardage that time behind the running of number 18, Anthony Gibbons.
One thing you can see with an experienced line is the fact that they stay with their blocks. And when you look at the last couple of runs for Baldwin, what you see Freeport players sort of in position to make the tackle, but they just can't get off their blocks. And you know, that means the offensive lineman is either holding, which we've had 4 of those,
Which we've had, yeah.
or they keep they're staying in the defender, staying in the defender's framework, and continuing to drive. And that's what the Baldwin defense is doing. Offensive line, they're staying with their blocks. They're doing a terrific job up front.
2nd and goal to go for Baldwin at the Freeport 5. They give it to Thomas. Thomas bounces off one man. He's in for a touchdown. Touchdown, Baldwin. Thomas goes in from 5 yards out. Baldwin has come back from a 14-0 deficit and cut the deficit to 14-13.
And it's 9th touchdown of the year, and you saw once again that looked like 2 plays before. The patience, and that's the mark of a great runner. He knows, he trusts that those guys up front, that they're going to come through and make those blocks. So he's not trying to outrun his blocks, trying to run to the outside. He's waiting for his moment, and he's hitting the hole with authority. And you saw right there, he was able to power into the end zone.
So Baldwin goes 6 plays, 39 yards. And the nice thing, if you're Steve Carroll, you talk about your running backs. With a guy like Thomas, he is only a junior. Maybe the best is yet to come, because Ronnie Thomas returns next year. Here is Kroll trying to convert and tie the game up. And he does, and we're tied. Baldwin and Freeport at 14-all. And what figured to be a good one, and it's certainly been that. 10-11 to go in the first half. We'll come back. We are tied, and made a notation next to Will Barrow's name, makes big plays, the Baldwin wide receiver and defensive back. He's done that so far.
Oh, that's the understatement of the day right there. I mean, he single-handedly has brought them back in this game with his kickoff return and his interception.
All right, now it's Freeport's turn. Rittmeyer backs up, drops the ball in the end zone, and he'll decide wisely to down it in there. So Freeport will get it this time in not real good field position.
And look to them, the wind is blowing in their face now, so look to them to continue to throw the ball, but just more in the intermediate area, because you know the wind's kind of strong up top here at Freeport High School, and so they can run the ball. So look for them to run a little more, little screens, a little dink and dunk right now, because the wind is blowing pretty hard up top.
Freeport, the first 2 times they had the ball in this game, they went down and scored touchdowns. So they're trying to go 3 for 3. And the quarterback has been sensational. Randy Mills, excellent passing game. Stephen Barrett, number 2, is a fine runner. They go from that spread formation. In the backfield is Eric Riedmeyer, number 3. The quarterback is Mills as he talks to the line. Barrett is number 2. They've got receivers at the bottom and the top of the screen. So play Mills likes to throw. Fires out into number 5. They ruled it incomplete. They tried to hit Juan Hammond Gilliam, a play that's worked a couple of times today.
I'll tell you what, I think these referees don't want to go home today, because they threw another flag out there. They're going to get a holding on Freeport. We've seen a lot of penalties in the first quarter.
6 now.
And in 2 minutes, 6 penalties, as you mentioned, Ed. And keep on this pace. We'll be here all day with these penalties. But that's another mistake for Freeport, and that's the thing. Both teams have made mistakes, but they're still able to put up 14 points. So I don't know how many points we're going to see today, but we're heading to double-digit penalties before the half.
Well, something you can't beat is speed, and both these teams have tremendous speed, and of course a lot of athletic people at the skill position. But Freeport is backed up now back to their 10 in a 1st and 20 situation from their 10 in a tie ball game with Baldwin at 14 all, 10:06 to go in the first half.
And now you see they're backed up. You see they got the wishbone in the backfield now. This is something they do. They do a lot. They go to the wishbone.
They wanted to get the ball off on the right side and they hand off neatly that time. It's a guy that, you know, hasn't carried the ball all that much as a running back, Javon Eason, but they line him up all over the place, as you mentioned before, because he has tremendous speed. He picks up a few yards, just trying to get a little room maybe to throw the ball.
Yeah, well, yeah, that, and they do go to the wishbone in the multiple sets a lot. They will go to the full house backfield. They will bring in the 2 tight ends, using Eason as a tight end. So they do a lot of different things at Freeport. And they, you know, right now they're just concentrating on trying to get a first down, or at the very least getting some room to punt the football.
Got 5 yards in that play, makes it 2nd and 15 from the 15. And they go right up the middle of the gut, but Baldwin's defense has been very tough on the inside. They gave the ball to Stephen Barrett. Now, he is the main man for this team for Freeport, carrying the ball number 2. He's a 3-year varsity captain. He came in with 5 touchdowns rushing, averaging 7 yards per carry.
And he has the ability to break a long one. He's got a 54-yard touchdown run this year. So they try to catch Baldwin looking for the deep ball and trying to hit him up the middle real quick there. And now they have a manageable 3rd and 11.
And look for Mills to throw. He's done it well. Oh, quick kick. It is blocked that time. He tried to punt it away, but spinning there for Baldwin was Andrew Berg. Blocked it all over him, number 75. And Baldwin forces effectively another turnover. You got to consider that a turnover.
Yeah, it is a turnover. You know, anytime you block a punt, that's a turnover for your defense or your special teams. And right there, you know, Freeport tried to go with the quick kick, catch Baldwin off guard because they didn't feel they could make the 3rd down or 3rd and 11. So, you know, it backfired on them. So now the defense has to come up big for Freeport, and Baldwin once again, after being outplayed severely in the 1st quarter, now they have a chance to take the lead. You know, so they've bounced back rather quickly.
Well, Steve Carroll talked about that. He said, we know they like the quick kick, especially in long situations. So obviously Baldwin brought some extra people up to the line, looking to get at the kicker. The kicker's up so close to the line of scrimmage, he's not back 10 or 11 yards. He's about 5 or 6 yards back.
And that's a mental breakdown by the offensive line of Freeport. You know, if you're quick hitting, you got to do a little extra. And Stephen Berg, number 75, was able to break through and make that block.
So Baldwin goes 1st and 10 from the Freeport 18 with Casey Carroll, the quarterback. And he's going to give it to Thomas. Thomas sheds 2 tacklers before he gets bumped, but he gets some yardage again. It seems like every time Thomas handles the ball, he gets 5 yards at least.
Well, you said he ran through 2 tackles. You know, number 58, number 53. That's Woodmansee and Greenwood. You know, they're bigger than Thomas, but the difference is Thomas is running. He's got that low center of gravity, and they're standing straight up trying to arm tackle this kid, and you cannot do that. He's only 5'6", 171, but he's got a lot of power to him.
Well, Thomas has carried the ball 6 times for 52 yards in the game as Baldwin goes 2nd and 6 from the Freeport 14. It is Hoover at the bottom of the screen for Baldwin, number 4, Jason Hoover. Will Barrow, 22 at the top of the screen. This is nice razzle-dazzle. Thomas, though, rather Gibbons is trapped and does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Anthony Gibbons that time as they tried a little razzle-dazzle, but you could see Freeport wasn't fooled by that.
No, they did a good job stringing out that option, Eddie. And then you could see Gibbons. You know, he's a very good cutback runner, and he was forced to cut back that time because he had absolutely no place to go on the corner. And uncharacteristically, Freeport should have had him in the backfield, but they're normally a swarming defense. But that time, the backside or the linebackers up the middle did not follow the play, and he was able to cut back and make 5 yards out of what should have been a 5-yard loss.
Javian Eason, number 8, the strong safety at 5'11", 175 senior, 3-year starter, was the man who finally pulled him down. Baldwin goes 3rd and 6 now from the 14. Again, it's Barrow at the top of the screen, Hoover at the bottom. Out of the eye, they break the eye, they send the fullback in motion. They're going to throw it out there, the flat, it'll be dropped. Well, that's why they play him at fullback. They've not thrown that much to Joe Esposito, but again, Steve Carroll said, we're going to try to get the fullback out in the flat and throw the ball to him. He's not a quarter pass all year, Esposito. He's more like a guard back. They use him as a blocking back. He very rarely carries the ball. So now you're trying to do something you hadn't done all year, throw a ball to an open man but may not have the best hands.
Well, as you said, you know, that's why he's a fullback. Because what he does well is knock people over and open up holes and good short yardage running. What he doesn't do well is catch the ball out of the backfield, and that's a tough tough play for a fullback. Not a lot of fullbacks, even in the NFL, Eddie. A lot of fullbacks do not catch the ball very well.
Well, this will be the first field goal try of the year for 31 yards. Andrew Kroll kicking his first field goal of the year. The first attempt, it is good. So Kroll, who kicked 3 field goals last year, in his first attempt this year, makes it.
Okay, well, you know, Freeport came out and threw the first right hook, and the Baldwin came back and came with a left uppercut. Now we'll see what Freeport does after giving up a 14-0 lead. We'll see how Freeport handles it. Let's give credit to Steve Carroll. You know, his team was down 14-0 very quickly. That was more points than they gave up the entire season, so they were a little shell-shocked. And a big kickoff return by Will Barrow has turned this game around. And now Baldwin has the lead, and we'll see what Freeport does to react.
All right, we'll come back in a minute after all those hooks to my jaw. I'm tired. We'll be back right. He's got a 17-14 lead midway through the second quarter. Kroll's going to kick it off, and he's going to kick it to number 3, Rettmeyer at the goal line. He got some room. Nice return out across the 30, and Freeport will get better field position this time.
Yeah, good job of Rettmeyer. Last return, he dropped the ball at the goal line that was blown dead. This time, he took advantage, and it was key for them to get good field position because they got to, you know, they started off the last series on the 20, got a hold of the penalty real quick, and that caused it, you know, made it tough for them to get a first down. Now they got the ball out past the 30-yard line. It's a good job by Eric getting the ball out to the 30.
Nice job by Anthony Gibbons, too, to make the tackle before Rettmeyer got into some green pastures. 1st and 10 from Freeport for the 31. Last 2 times they turned it over to pass interception and a block punt. Got to get their offense reestablished. Here's Carroll from the tee this time, trying to get outside, and they pile him up as he tries to turn the corner. Gilliam that time, good fine running room.
Yeah, and Andy Nozier, number 9, the inside linebacker, did a good job of getting out there. Couldn't make the tackle, but he slowed Barrett up enough where he couldn't get downfield, and he got some help.
I mean, is this going to set a record for holding penalties? That's number 7 in the game.
Like I said before, Eddie, there's in every level of football, there's on the offensive line, in that interior, there's holding on every play, if you want to call it. You know, so this is going to, you know, the one thing the referees are calling the game this way, the players are going to have to adjust to the way the officials are calling the play. Similar to basketball, if they're going to call the touch fouls, then you can't get your hands on the guy. So right now, both sides, both linemen have to, group of offensive linemen have to be cautious of getting their hands outside the frame because these referees will throw the flag.
And you're right on the money when you say they've got to learn to adjust to the situation. Beska. Now Baldwin keeps moving. Freeport's going to get backed up all the way back. It looked like a double penalty on Freeport because they have now moved it back to the 10-yard line. Personal foul is called against Freeport. The officials, by the way, Richard Hans is the referee, Bob Leeler is the umpire, Tom Smith is the linesman, and the line judge is Brendan Wallace at Freeport. Goes 1st down and 20. Now they got that wrong. It's 1st and 30 from back there. Baldwin looking a little blitz for the first time today. Let's see if they come with it. They don't like the blitz much, but they are coming with a blitz. A nice job as he throws out in the right flat. Pass that time was thrown out there for number 9, trying to make the catch. We'll have to look at our major roster to find out who he was. Number 9 for Freeport as Mills went out to the right flat against a blitzing defense. Threw that ball to Willie Seward that time. Willie Seward, who normally plays the free safety spot. So it's 2nd and 30.
And Eddie, I was thinking about the penalties this day. It was a double penalty. What might have happened, they called holding, they might have called holding during the play, and then the personal foul, dead ball. So they probably enforced both penalties.
So Baldwin that time came with the first blitz of the day. Let's see if they're going to come with it again. Mills trying to roll away from it. He got a man deep, but he throws into coverage, and that's man Barrow with an interception. He picks it off at the 40-yard line. And Baldwin will have excellent field position as they're on the move again. Down inside the Freeport 25 with Barrow's 2nd interception.
And we got a flag on the play, so we're going to check that. But Randy Mills made his first mistake of the game. You know, you got 2nd down and about
3 people there.
2nd down and a ways to go. You can't force that football in there. You got to try to get as much as you can and punt the football. So it looks like it's against Baldwin, the penalty.
But it'll come after the interception, I believe. Let's see. They're going to call a personal foul. Let's see where they're going to call this. Barrow with his 2nd interception of the game. And again, we talk about his ability to make the big interceptions. He has 6 interceptions on the year.
Unfortunately, we don't have our referee's mic today, so we're not going to get that call. We're just going to get signals, and it's a block in the back against Baldwin on the return, so they keep possession, and now they have a chance to tack on another 7 points in the second quarter.
But excellent field position from the Freeport 30. Oh, what an excellent tackle. That time trying to get away from people, but Stanley Gutierrez in to make the stop. A beautiful hit that time as he came busting through to knock down Afosa Gobiade.
And you mentioned Gutierrez. Gutierrez is starting at middle linebacker. He had a lot of pressure coming on him to start the season. He's following up 3 straight Division I caliber middle linebackers to play here at Freeport. The last 3 middle linebackers play at Freeport all went Division I football. So he's got big shoes to fill, but he's doing a great job. He's the leading tackler on this Freeport defense.
Outstanding footwork as he showed then too. So Baldwin goes second and long with Thomas, who's done very well running the football. He's small, but he's got that good balance, and after he gets hit, he keeps the legs moving.
Yeah, and think about it, you said after he gets hit, and right now he's not getting touched until he's about 4 or 5 yards downfield, and then he's breaking that first tackle. So right, and you got to give credit to the other backs, Gibbons and the wide receivers, because they're doing a good job on the secondary, because they're playing that cover 2, which is good against the run with the corners up on the line of scrimmage, but the corners aren't getting in on the tackle, so that means the receivers and the other backs are doing a great job blocking.
So a nice pickup of 8 yards on the play. Thomas on the day flying along with 7 carries for 62 yards. Baldwin goes 3rd and 5 from the Freeport 25 with a single back, and they give it to him, and he tries to break tacklers as he goes. They try that again. Gabadia picks up a couple of yards. Gabadia, he gets the short yardage for. He's got the strong legs. He's quick. He sees the hole well. He's got the good feet, and he understands the game. He's also a lacrosse goalie, so his hands can't be that bad.
No, he's got good hands playing that little lacrosse goalie. I don't know how he likes to stand in there and have people throw things at him, but he's doing a good job right now. He's a lanky kid, and he slips through the holes, and he's doing an excellent job.
And he gets the first down for Baldwin. They move the chains, 1st and 10 to the Red Devils 19. Single setback. Here's Thomas. Nice bootleg that time by Carroll, but he gets nailed and knocked down with a beautiful flying tackle. Number 51 for Freeport came racing over to make the hit. That's Eric Healy, the linebacker, 5'10", 200-pound senior, along with Taylor. Easton also in to make the top, number 10.
Yeah, Taylor Easton came up from his cornerback position. They ran a fake draw and the bootleg with Carroll, and Easton came up, laid a big hit, and knocked him out of bounds. Good job staying home on the corner.
The Bruins go for the slot, the same formation now. They're back in with a double slot, though. 4 wide receivers. Carroll under the center. In motion, the wide receiver in trouble. Down he goes. Good defensive pressure coming up the middle. Bemi Otilaje, 2-year starter, number 56. He's 5'11", 205 junior, and you can see he's very quick.
Yeah, Otilaje is an experienced defensive and offensive lineman for this team. Otilaje came up with a big play. That's what Freeport needed, because they need to keep him out of the end zone. And Casey Carroll could not find an open receiver, and he's got to learn to throw that ball away, because you don't want to take a sack, because they were in field goal range. Now they're backed up a little with a long 3rd and 15.
So that 3rd sack of the day for Freeport forces Baldwin back to the 25-yard line. Makes it 3rd down for Baldwin and 16. As Carroll that time obviously was looking to go deep. Good coverage by the secondary of Freeport. 17-14. Baldwin leading after being down 14-0. They came back. Freeport had dominated early. Mills hitting Eason with a 26-yard touchdown toss to start things, and then Mills hit Rietmeyer with a 16-yard strike. And then Baldwin with 17 unanswered points. So a long situation for Baldwin.
It's been a kickoff return and the turnovers that has propelled Baldwin to this lead.
3rd and long. Play action. He likes to go deep. Does not get the first down. So they flushed him out again. Good defense by Freeport, putting pressure. And again, Bemi Otilaje knocked him out of bounds.
That's a good job by Carroll. Did not have a receiver open. He was waving downfield, trying to direct his receivers to get open. But he did an excellent job realizing the position they're in. okay? Not to throw an interception, just to get out, just to run the football, take it down, and now it sets up a field goal, or they can go for it on 4th down. So he did a smart, heady decision and not throwing the ball into coverage.
Well, Kroll is out there setting the tee down, so that should be a clue that they're going to try the field goal, especially since he made the last one a 31-yarder. He's now faced with a little longer kick on this one of about 34 yards. A little bit of wind out there coming at him as he tries it. Strong leg. He got it again, so Kroll nails a 34-yarder. And Baldwin has come back with 20 unanswered points to build a 20-14 lead over Freeport. 3:23 to go in the first half. The first picture you're watching here is Baldwin Freeport on Election Day, 1936. A crowd of 10,000 at Steel School. Baldwin won that game 12-7. We'll show you the next one after the kickoff as Kroll booms it. Back goes Riedmeyer. He's got it at the 2. Got some room out here. Waiting for him is Gibbons. Pull down, but pretty good field position for Baldwin. They're going to go this time across the 30-yard line where they'll go 1st and 10. We're going to show you the second picture here, too. This is a picture of Freeport Stadium, which was basically a midget auto race track. Later stock cars came there. This is back in the 1940s. You can tell by the helmets. Freeport and Baldwin. So you talk about tradition, you wake up some echoes in that. I can remember going to the Freeport Stadium game, Election Day. They always played Election Day and getting 10,000 people. So it obviously was a big event.
A lot of tradition in this rivalry. It goes back a long way. And these two schools, like you said, these two towns border each other. You know, driving to this game today, pulled over, stopped in Baldwin, said, how do you get to Freeport? People were looking at me. They didn't like the fact that I asked where to find Freeport.
You were there, you didn't know it. 2 more blocks. Well, trying to get the bomb. He was looking deep, but not that time, because getting on top of him with a good defensive play, Andrew Berg, number 75, the leading tackler for Baldwin. Got that good feet, makes the big plays, is a Division I AA prospect.
Yeah, and right, the routes took too long. That was a covered sack. Good job by the secondary. They've made their adjustments. They did a good job covering the Freeport receivers in the second quarter, and then the pressure got to Randy Mills. And this time, he didn't throw the ball away. He didn't have a chance to.
So 2nd and 15, as now we see the defense beginning to assert themselves for both Baldwin and Freeport. Both defenses playing better here of late. Baldwin's using more blitzes. They go with the blitz, and they're after Mills, and they're coming at him, and he's knocked down for another loss, swarming all over him. Flag is thrown on the play. Let's see what the call is, though.
And I think that's going to be a personal foul on Baldwin. Judging from here, that flag came in kind of late. There were a couple of players piled on, and it's either going to be a roughing the foul taunting. Face mask, there we go.
Leading the charge that time again, Berg and Gary Roker getting at Mills that time, but it cost Baldwin with the face mask pull. That's going to give Freeport out of a jam because Baldwin was starting to assert really good pressure on the offensive Freeport.
Well, you know, both teams have committed costly penalties that have sustained drives and conversely have killed drives on both sides of the ball. So, you know, you have 2 good defenses and 2 good offenses, but if you continue to get penalties, you're going to either stifle yourself or you're going to aid the other team. So both teams have made a lot of penalties that have hurt their team so far in the first half.
So Freeport gets a first down on that one, 1st and 10. They're going to call the penalty on Danny Iovine. Make it 2nd and 2, rather. Did not quite get the first down. So on 2nd and 2, Freeport will go from their 39. Baldwin showing blitz again. Boom, 75 is there waiting for him with a big hit. Also helped out on the play. Coming up, number 9, the linebacker, Andy Nozier. Knocked down the ball carrier.
Nozier, he's one of their captains. He's a great special teammate. If you take a close look, folks at home, when they kick off and you see a blur coming down the middle of that kickoff, taking out the wedge, that's Andy Nozier. And you just saw he's a big hitter at the inside linebacker. 5'11", 202-pound senior captain.
So there is no gain. It's now 3rd and 2 as Mills goes with Eason and Barrett as the backs behind him. Going to try the quarterback sneak, and with a nice second effort by Mills, he gets the first down. Looked like he was stopped, but he broke the tackle.
Yeah, terrific second effort because I just talked about Andy Nozier. He was in that backfield as soon as the ball was snapped. He was on his feet, and tried to make the tackle, but he didn't have his legs under him, and Randy Mills was able to dive over the top and get the first down.
Casey Carroll came up but couldn't put the clamps on Mills as Mills gets what should be a first down. They're going to move the chains, and with 1:26 to go in the first half, Baldwin leading 17-14. Red Devils still have the ball.
Wow, you got angry people on both sides, because I thought on that play before that he was stopped further in the backfield, and on that play I thought Randy Mills got more yardage, so both sides are upset about the spots.
Let me correct the score. It's Baldwin 20, Freeport 14. Baldwin has 2 field goals on the last drive. Mills back to throw. As it tries to go down the middle, and it's intercepted by Hoover with a pick. The second pick of the day. Hoover breaking tacklers, crosses into Freeport territory, and Baldwin forcing another turnover.
That's the third interception by Randy Mills. He forced that one in there. Did not have to throw that ball. He needs to regroup right now, and the offensive coordinator, Curtis Smith, needs to start coming up with some intermediate routes, because he is trying to fit the ball in between the safety. They have a couple of safeties standing back there, and he's just trying to throw the ball up the seam into this wind, and they're coming off their hash marks and intercepting the ball. That's the third interception of the first half for Randy Mills.
So throwing into double coverage as Baldwin defensively getting after Freeport now. Freeport built that 14-0 lead. Baldwin's come back with 20 unanswered points. 1:08 to go in the first half. Baldwin has the ball in Freeport territory from the Freeport 44. Let's see if Baldwin tries to go upstairs and score quickly here against the clock, fighting the clock. Casey Carroll got him wide open off the hands of Barrow. Usually, but let's see if we get a flag over there. Good hit that time by Rietmeyer, number 3, and we got a flag.
When you have a team that's playing cover 2 and you try to slide a guy down the sideline, you have a short corner and you have a safety coming off the hash. You have to throw that ball in there with authority. And right there, Will Barrow was waiting for the ball, and he kind of hung it up there so the safety was able to come over. And it wouldn't have mattered because we have a penalty on Baldwin. Once again, another flag on Baldwin. And it looks like it's going to be holding again, and they're going to get backed up another 10 yards. So once again, in this game, Eddie.
I want to know something. Will you pay me $10 for every holding penalty we get today? Because I'd have $80 right now.
Well, I may have to sell my car or my house by the time it's over with to pay you back if you're going to charge me $10 per flag. So it's been a lot of flags, and which is unusual for 2 undefeated good teams to have so many penalties in the first half.
When you play cover 2, don't you need to get good pass rush? You can't sit in that zone very long in that.
No, you need your pass rush from your front 4, but you're going against a very experienced offensive line.
There's that screen on the inside. Here's Barrow. Gets a block. Oh, beautiful block by Gibbons on Rietmeyer. Down the sideline he goes. He goes out of bounds to stop the clock. A nice play for Baldwin. Excellent call. You know the rush is coming. They figure they got you in a long yardage situation, Freeport. They're going to tee off, so you throw that inside screen.
It's a simple slip screen by the receiver. He comes down the line. The offensive line's going to let everybody go after the quarterback. And because just sitting back there in that deep cover 2 zone, there's no support off that screen. So you saw Will Barrow was able to use his speed and get up the field and make a big play. This is all we're seeing. We're seeing big runs by these kids. They're averaging ridiculous amount of yards per touch so far in the first half.
27-yard pickup on the screen makes it 1st and 10 for Baldwin at the Freeport 28. Clock running under 40 seconds as again the Bruins go from the I formation. They want to come right. Here's a guy they've gone to Thomas, but not this time. He gets knocked down. A very excellent tackle by Stanley Gutierrez, the middle linebacker. We've talked about him a lot today. Leading tackler, makes a good play.
Yeah, good teamwork there, because Adam Woodmansee, we talked about him. He caused the penetration on the outside, on the edge, allowed Gutierrez to come through the gap and make the tackle.
From the Freeport 33-yard line, not much time left. Look for Carroll to try to air it out a little bit. Hit the receiver drop. Good play defensively. Rietmeyer. Maybe a flag called over there. As Barrow gets hit, there's a flag. Interference looks like the call.
They're going to call interference, but I don't know. It was kind of close. Looked like the timing was there. I think because he went through the back of the receiver, the way he hit him and the force that he generated caused the flag. But it looked like it was close, and it's one I thought he could have let go.
So the officials will discuss it with 18 seconds to go. Casey Carroll likes to throw deep, and his coach, Steve Carroll, no relation, says, I have to remind him, you know, when you got people open short, you don't throw deep into double coverage, and that's been a problem that Casey Carroll's had this year. But right now, you kind of want him to go deep, though he's got time to throw a short one.
Well, you know, that penalty right there may have cost Freeport the field position that's going to allow Baldwin to at least get a field goal attempt before this half is over.
There they have it, the Freeport 17, 18 seconds to go. Keep an eye on number 22 at the top of the screen, Will Barrow.
And right now, Carroll cannot take a sack. He needs to get rid of the football because he doesn't want to get knocked out of field goal range.
Freeport staying basically in their four-man rush. Carroll looked one way, now going to come back the other way. A man wide open, touchdown, sitting down beautifully on an excellent throw. He put 3 receivers in the end zone, and he hit the big guy Hoover for the touchdown. Flag is down, though.
Hey, it's going to come back, though, Eddie, because guess what?
Holding.
You got it right. We got another holding penalty. I mean, we're making a joke of it up here, but, you know, it's not funny that there's 2 head coaches who are designing plays and making plays, and the penalties keep coming, and the holding plays keep killing big-time plays by these 2 very good ball clubs.
Well, that is the 9th holding penalty in the first half. I don't remember ever doing a game where we've had 9 holding penalties, maybe in a whole game, let alone half.
I mean, I've done an arena football game, and I saw 16 penalties by one team and 14 by another, and that was in an entire game. Right now, we're on pace to get something like that. We got 9 holding penalties already, and it's only 11 seconds to go before half. I think at some point the referees are going to have to start, you know, letting the things that are right on their fringe go. Instead of, right now they're not. They're calling all of them. But once again, it's the player's responsibility to adjust to the way that the referees are calling the game.
So Baldwin now at the 27 goes 1st and 20 with 11 seconds to go. It almost puts the quarterback in a position to have to try to throw it in the end zone. And he's got 4 people deep. Firing. Barrow pushes off this time and makes the catch, and they don't call a penalty on Barrow. He pushed off Riedmeyer. That was clearly the receiver pushing off the defensive back.
Wow. There was another holding on the edge, and now they're hurrying up because the clock is going to run. They don't have any timeouts. The clock's going to run.
Ball's at the 2 with 3 seconds to go. 2 seconds. They're not going to get it off. I mean, if that's the official clock. There it is, halftime. Well, wait a minute. They blew the buzzer for the halftime.
Well, you got the scoreboard up here, but keep in mind the officials have the official time down on the field. So although the Freeport fans were on the Freeport sideline here, they're screaming the clock is up, the half is over. The official time is on the field.
So there is some time left. We're not sure how much because the clock on the scoreboard says there's no time left. But that play, and that's a controversial play certainly, a 25-yard toss to Barrow, puts the ball on the Freeport 2-yard line. Interestingly enough, Baldwin will disdain the field goal to go for the 7. Here they go. And straight ahead, that time he did not get in. I don't think he got there. Trying to get in there was Gobadia. He cracked off the right side. Still not sure how much time left on the clock because the official clock says nothing left. Excellent job by Freeport. That's the half. Freeport turns them away. So here we are at halftime of what certainly has been a very entertaining game with Baldwin coming from behind 14-0 to take a 20-14 lead over Freeport. We'll come back with a halftime right after this.
I'm joined by the superintendent at Freeport, Dr. Eric Eversley, and the principal, Michael Courtney. Let's start with you, Superintendent, Dr. Eversley. Talk about the loyal fans you guys got. They come out, they follow you guys around. Today's turnout for the game, very big. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. You know, one of the great sources of pride in Freeport is its schools. And we have fans, many generations of fans who come forward. They travel with the team. At one of our games earlier this year, we had more fans than the home team. And so that's a real support for us. It's a place where diversity works very well and people come out to support their children.
Okay, Dr. Eversley, you got a lot going on. Freeport School District, some new additions coming up. Talk about that.
We do. This is a very exciting time for our school district and a very important time for us. We are bringing online some new facilities. We, of course, just opened this fall a new 60,000 square foot addition to the high school. Before year's end, before the end of the calendar year, we'll open a new elementary school, New Visions Elementary. We've got additions coming online before the end of the calendar year at our other elementary magnet schools. And we're about to break ground for a new library at our Atkinson School. So on the construction side, we've really got a lot going on, but the core of what we do is the instructional program. We've got a new initiative in the district, educational restructuring, destination excellence. Each of our schools is very intensely engaged in instruction improvement planning, academic program improvement planning, looking at what we do for our students who are doing exceedingly well to further extend their opportunities, and developing individualized plans for the students who are not yet at the point of reaching state and district standards but are working hard at that. So we're very excited about that. We've got technology now, internet access in every classroom in our high school and in our middle school, which increases our opportunities for research and also to access online services. So we're very excited about the things that are going on.
Great, very good reason to be excited. A lot going on. And to my right here, someone new on the scene, principal here at Freeport, Michael Courtney. 9 days, huh? Just getting started here. Talk about the welcome you received here at Freeport.
Oh, just fantastic. I wanted to anyway thank Dr. Eversley and the Board of Education for giving me a fabulous opportunity to be part of this wonderful Freeport family. 9 days have been terrific. Great faculty, great kids, wonderful resources, and part of my job will be to really see what's happening here and listen well, but I'm very humbled to be part of this group.
We'll be back with more here at halftime at Freeport High School.
Freeport will kick off to Baldwin. Getting ready to kick off is number 18 for Freeport. This is a squib kick. Bounds around, comes up with a Barrows has it. He can go. He went 98 yards early. One man to beat. He's down inside Freeport territory. He's going to go all the way, stumbling in the end zone. Barrows does it again. Another kickoff return for a touchdown.
Wow, that's just unbelievable. I just got done saying how that first half kickoff was the most important play of this first half. Well, what does he do? He comes out of the locker room, probably not even stretched properly, and knocks off another one. So tremendous effort by Will Barrow, but let's give credit to the whole special teams unit, because remember now, Steve Carroll talked about how his special teams was playing very well. And if you look out there on the special teams, you see a lot of starters for the offensive defensive units playing on special teams. That says a lot about their kids, that they want to go out there and make plays every time they touch the football.
Well, what impresses me is when Barrow got the ball across, it was fumbled initially by an up back. When he picked it up, he the seam, lined up as blockers, and then accelerated.
And a lot of times what happens, Eddie, is when the ball's on the ground, the kick cover teams forget their responsibility and they let up because they think the play is dead. And what happened was there was a gaping hole up the middle. So somebody got washed out of their lane, and Barrow's off to the races.
So here they go for the two. Carroll wants to throw, looking for Yeomans, instead he goes in the other way and gets the two, and a perfect throw to Barrow again. So Will Barrow having quite a day today. He runs back 2 kicks for long touchdowns. The last was 90 yards, and now he catches a 2-point pass play.
Yeah, and right now Freeport, they went into the locker room, down 6 points. They said, okay, forget about the first half. Let's just move on. It's a 6-0 game right now because we're down 6. And what happens? The first play of the half, they run it back, and now they're down 14 points. So, plenty of time for Freeport. But they have to get together on the special teams unit because it's killing them right now.
Well, Baldwin started to do a better job in the second quarter on pass defense. They got a better pass rush on the quarterback, Randy Mills, who really shot him full of holes in the first half. Mills finishing for the half with a lot of throws in this game. Statistically, in the first half, Randy Mills now 6 for 12, 128 yards, but he's thrown 3 interceptions.
Yeah, and he started off 6 of 8. So he started off red hot with 2 touchdown passes, and then it just fell apart, mainly because of the poor decisions he was making trying to force the ball in deep down the middle of the field.
I think Freeport has to develop a little bit of a running game here, Wayne. That's important.
Yeah, but they can't get out of what they do well. They just have to do what they do well better. if you understood what I just said. But, you know, hey, listen, we talked about Baldwin's defense and their turnovers in the beginning of this game. 23 turnovers coming in. And, you know, 14 interceptions. Now they have 3 more interceptions. So 17 interceptions through 5.5 football games.
They've had 26 turnovers. Baldwin's forced 26 turnovers. They've turned the ball over twice. That's plus 24 in 5.5 games. I've never heard the team have that kind of positive turnover rate.
And it's basically ridiculous the way they've been turning over the ball on defense. And I've always said the one stat that truly matters in football when you look at it is the turnover battle.
All right, the pooch kick, because Baldwin is kicking into the wind, will give excellent field position to Freeport as it's kicked out of bounds. Freeport will have the wind behind them here in the third quarter, so that's important that they go and use it now.
Well, absolutely. They need to be in an attacking mode. They cannot sit back and worry about what just happened. They got excellent field position on the 40-yard line. Hey, drop 60 yards, you score a touchdown, you're down 7 again. Game's not over. For Baldwin, they need to keep this momentum going. The wheelbarrow kickoff in the first half started the ball rolling their way, and it's kept on rolling for Baldwin since. And right now they're in good shape, but they cannot let up as well because Freeport has the ability to come back very quickly.
Key players: Mills, the quarterback, 12. Easton, 8, is a wide receiver, running back. Rietmeyer, number 3, he's in the slot. Down at the bottom of the screen is Gilliam, and 2, the running back, Barrett, as they go spread. Fake to Barrett. Here's that screen on the inside. Trying to get it going, but that time Baldwin smelled it out as they stopped Gilliam for a short gain. Good tackle that time. Coming up to make the play with the quarterback for Baldwin, also safety, Casey Carroll.
And that's a good idea for the offense coordinator, Curtis Smith, and Randy Mills. Hey, listen, he struggled the last couple of drives in the first half, throwing 3 straight interceptions. Come out and throw something short, get them back on track, get them back in a rhythm so they can attack the defensive ball.
So they go from the 38-yard line with 2nd and 7, Freeport. Mills wants to pitch the ball back to Barrett. He does. Baldwin does a good job of smelling that one out. Enough to make the tackle for Baldwin, leading the charge and doing a very good job. Danny Iovine, number 32.
And Freeport needs to pick up the intensity and match the intensity of Baldwin. Right now, all the noise is coming from that far sideline. All the players in the white are running to the football on both sides of the ball, and the team in red is its intensity is not matching the intensity of Baldwin right now.
I hate to say this is a big play, but it's 3rd and 3 for Freeport, and they really have to kickstart their offense. It's kind of died out after the first quarter explosion, and they're down by 2 touchdowns. They've got the wind at their back. They want to make something happen this possession. And they do, with a perfect throw for the first down toss to Jet Bates with his first catch of the day. By the way, the Jet is 6'1", 190, a junior, imposing. That is his 7th catch of the year. He's got about 83 yards receiving.
Yeah, and that's going to be there all day for Randy Mills because Baldwin's not going to be up in their faces pressing these receivers. They got 4 wide, so they're going to be laid off a little bit. They don't want to give up the big play, especially being up 14 points. So they can dink and dunk all the way down the field if they choose to do so.
6-yard pickup. They move the chains. 1st and 10 for Freeport. 10-12 to go in the 3rd quarter. Baldwin leads it 28-14. This is Mills. Is very good at looking one way, coming back the other way. He's got it wide open. He may go to the house. As Hoover trips it up from behind with an excellent tackle, bringing down Jalen Easton. But Easton almost went all the way.
And that is the same exact play that he scored on in the first half, except they ran it to the other side. They faked the run up inside. They roll the quarterback to the opposite side, and Easton sneaks down the backside way behind the zone. So they went back to what got them success in the first half. The short passing game and then hit them deep with the misdirection and the roll and throw back. And you got to have a strong arm quarterback to make that throw.
Get the defense to come up. That goes for 50 yards on that throw. Mills sold the play beautifully by looking one way to the right and then coming back to the left. 1st and goal to go for Freeport at the Baldwin 2. And they go with Rietmeyer, with 1 back. He's on the left, so they're going to let Mills push it in. Mills with a lot of strength gets the touchdown. Mills takes it in from 2 yards out. Freeport's back in the game. Baldwin 28, Red Devils 20.
And you know what? Freeport answered my question. My question was, can they get off the mat and get back in this game? And they came right down the field on a 60-yard drive with the big play, and now they're back in the ball game. This is why these 2 teams are 5-0, because they will not quit, and they can make big plays whenever they can. So now it turns back to Baldwin. Punch, counter punch. Now what's Baldwin going to do with their next possession?
Well, Freeport first has to get the extra point. Getting ready to kick for Freeport is Adrian Palazzo. And Palazzo knocked it through. Well, we've certainly had a lot of offensive fireworks here today. Freeport and Baldwin providing what was expected. It's Baldwin 28, Freeport 21. We'll come back. On a cold day, lots of offensive fireworks. Along with Wayne Morris, I'm Ed Ingles. And Wayne, you see Freeport answer back. What's Freeport got to do defensively, though? They've had trouble stopping Baldwin here lately.
Well, defensively and special teams wise, this is coming up. It's right their Achilles heel in this game so far. They're taking a little extra time in the huddle right now because, hey, they've given up 2 kickoff returns. So they gotta go down there with some effort. And special teams is all about effort and want to. Do you want to make the tackle? And that's the key. Stay in your lanes, go down there and knock somebody down and make a play. Don't wait for the guy next to you to make a play. And right now, that's what Freeport needs more than anything else right now to stop Will Barrow, who has killed him all this afternoon on reverses, on screens, and the 2 kickoff returns. So, hey, I know you got Ronnie Thomas back there, the great running back, but hey, I'm kicking this ball away from him, from Will Barrow. I'll kick it to the running back because he hasn't hurt me yet.
Well, Barrow, they're up looking for the pooch. Barrow is to the near sideline. Thomas in the middle of the field. Palazzo's going to kick it off. Baldwin expecting a very short kick. In fact, it is a short kick. Barrow thought the other guy was going to get it, and so Thomas has to go get it. He loses the ball. Maybe a turnover. Freeport's got it. That is only the 3rd turnover this year, and that occurred because of a short kick. Barrow thought Thomas was going to catch it, and Thomas didn't.
Are you kidding me? I was sitting up here looking at that ball. I said, I can't believe they kicked it to Will Barrow again. The problem was the ball drifted in the air, and neither Barrow or Thomas knew which one was going to catch the ball. Very poor communication. So Baldwin, after dominating on the special teams unit, now turns around and makes a big mistake, giving Freeport an opportunity. This has been a terrific football game so far, Eddie.
Lennox Norbert was the man who recovered for Freeport. They go 1st and goal to go with the Baldwin 2 with a chance to come back and tie this game. Mills, the tailback. There's that pitch to Barrett. He breaks 1 tackle, gets tripped up as he gets down near the goal line on a nice tackle by Alfonso Gubadia.
I'll tell you what, number 58, Chris Berg, strung that play out. He didn't make the tackle, but what he did was he slowed down Stephen Barrett, and he couldn't get in the end zone. Terrific effort. Wasn't able to make the tackle, but slowed him down and allowed the secondary to come and make the tackle.
Good play by the man coming up from the safety that time to make the stop. So now it's 2nd and goal to go for the 5 from Freeport. A lot of time to go, 9:34 in the 3rd. A long day of football because of all the penalties and a lot of passes. Mills wants to keep it himself. Down very close. Mills went right up the middle. And then to make the tackle for Baldwin, number 75, Andrew Berg, a name we've called quite a bit today.
That is simple quarterback draw. They pulled the tackle. Number 54, Stanley Gutierrez, who made a terrific kickout block, allowing Mills to get a clean lane up the middle, and he fell a yard short of the end zone.
You got out of the tee, it's Mills, the quarterback. Barrett is the man behind him, then Easton and Rickmeyer. Mills again. He's got it. Mills goes in standing up, and he exhorts the crowd as he comes out.
And Mills went right behind Gutierrez again off that right side.
He has done a good job for Freeport this year on these extra point kicks. He banged that one through, and we're tied at 28. Both teams came into this game unbeaten 5-0, not having to overcome much adversity, not turning the ball over very often, not being subjected to a lot of penalties. In this game, both teams guilty of penalties and turnovers. Here's the kick. This time it is bobbled again. Picked up by Thomas. He always fights for extra yardage, though. It's not like you can pin him down deep. He's always going to get something for you.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like pick your poison, Eddie. Do I want to kick it to Barrow, who ran 2 back on me, or do I want to kick it to Thomas, who's their best runner? So it's pick your poison, and they're doing a good job squib kicking the ball right now, and it's causing some problems with the deep backs of Baldwin.
Not great field position for Baldwin, but 1st and 10 from their 25. They have been able to move the ball on the ground this game. particularly off the tackles with Thomas, either right or left. They run behind a very experienced offensive line. Every starter for ball on the offensive line is a veteran, played last year. At the bottom of the screen, the man to watch, Will Barrow. Quarterback is Casey Carroll. He runs to a power I formation. On the option. Oh, he sells it beautifully. Got a blocker in front. He's got the first down and more. They try to strip the ball from him, but they fail to do that. As Carroll gets the first down off a nice run. Willie Seward, the free safety, had to come up and make the stop.
A breakdown, a big breakdown on the Freeport defense. Somebody's got to take the quarterback on the option. Everybody dove inside to the fullback, and Casey was around the corner, wide open for a tackle, and then Willie Stewart came up with a big open field tackle to prevent further damage.
Yeah, the outside linebacker failed containment on a gain of 20 yards by Casey Carroll. 1st and 10 for Baldwin at the 45. Freeport dressed in the traditional red. Gonna give it to Thomas. Oh, that time he is nailed on a tremendous tackle by Stephen Barrett. The linebacker, a short tackler, very good athlete, and he read that play beautifully, did Mr. Barrett.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some big plays here today, not just in the scoring department, but we've seen defenders on both sides of the ball come up with big plays at big times. You know, momentum is a funny thing. You come out, you get a big gainer, the next play, what happens? The defense responds. Stephen Barrett, great penetration, 5-yard loss. So it's been terrific effort on both teams' parts so far.
The most overused word in sports, and one that should be junked, is momentum, because momentum plays on both sides of the ball. 2nd and 14 puts Baldwin on hold now. They have had some successful throwing the ball to Barrow at the bottom of the screen in these situations. They're going to stay on the ground, fake it though. Carroll's going to roll. He's trying to get somebody to come over and help him. Almost picked off. They read that one all the way. Willie Seward came up and had an ideal opportunity. Couldn't put it away.
You know, I'm sitting up here shaking my head saying, don't throw the ball. Don't throw the ball, because it was only trouble. Once you get out of the pocket as a quarterback, especially you young quarterbacks, once you get out of the pocket and you have a lane to run the football. You got 2 receivers in a route, you got 4 defenders, you're out of the pocket, you're waiting for somebody to break open. That's trouble waiting to happen, especially when you throw back across the middle of the field. So if you're a young quarterback sitting at home watching, do not throw the ball across the field when you break out of the pocket against the grain, because bad things can only happen.
Well, Carroll today is hit on 3 of 8 for 89 yards. He has 1 interception, brings up a 3rd and 14. 7:04 to go in the 3rd quarter. Freeport and Baldwin tied at 28. The Bruins of Baldwin tried to move the sticks, but they got a long way to go here out of the shotgun. Out of bounds, too far. That was a strange-looking play, because you saw Barrow come back behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got them trying to throw the ball with 2 receivers in the pattern against a cover 2 zone. It's really difficult to do. You got to get more guys out in the pattern if you want to throw against a zone, because he only has 2 options. That's why you see him standing back there, Eddie, patting the ball, because he's waiting for somebody to get open, and if they're not getting open right now.
Gibbons was the intended receiver. Kroll will kick it away. Rettmeyer waiting for it. He's inside his 35. Flags go up on a high snap. Let's wait for the call. We had plenty of flags in the first half.
Yeah, plenty of flags, and this was not I know this one's not a holding call. No. So we don't have to worry about adding that total up. That's a illegal procedure on the punting team on Baldwin. So that'll back them up even further. Another mistake on the special teams unit in the second half of Baldwin.
Gives Freeport an opportunity here for good field position. Rettmeyer inching his way up just inside the 40. Rettmeyer will field it at the 36. Runs into a wave of Bruins. Excellent job by the special teamers of Baldwin to make the tackle.
And of course, number 9, Andy Nozier, again on another special teams tackle. This young man has been terrific on special teams and on defense.
Well, it's not been a surprise about that, because he is such a capable performer. He hits with authority. He's much improved. Sometimes he's vulnerable to the pass, but certainly he is a special teamer. Steve Carroll said this guy is tremendous in breaking up special teams and also creating tackles because of his strength, his speed, and his desire. Really outstanding day for Andy Nozier.
He's got those big shoulder pads on, and he knows how to use them.
So Freeport going 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line. Trying to pick up some yardage on that one. Didn't get much.
That was number 15, Rayson Burnett, on that carry. Rayson, Coach says if we ran a traditional offense, Rayson Burnett would be a starting halfback for us. But unfortunately for him, he's behind Stephen Barrett, and he gets some run. This on the season, 15 carries for 125 yards and a TD. He's a great blocker, and he's got good speed.
Burnett not quite as fast as Barrett. This time they're going to give it to Easton around the end. Short of sticks on the first down. That's the play that Freeport's had some success with.
Yeah, and you saw Javian Easton line up in the backfield. He's multi-dimensional. He plays receiver, but you look at him. He's a great runner. He's got good size. He can play in the backfield. He can play tight end. He plays free safety. He's a great athlete, and they can use him to do a lot of things on the opposite side of the ball.
So Jason Hoover, as you mentioned, makes the tackle, but it's 3rd and 2 for Freeport from the 49. Going in short yardage situations. Both teams have had a lot of long 3rd down situations today. They haven't had all that many short yardage situations. Mills throws. He hits. Another completion to Gilliam. Gilliam was a big receiver in the first half, and he just did get the first down. He sat down in the first down chain. Smart decision by the receiver.
And, being a former receiver, Eddie, what I liked about what he did was he made sure that he got enough for the first down, and he was able to come back to the football. A lot of times in the high school level, also at professional level, you got receivers that run the route. If it's 3rd and 10, they run 9 yards, and they get stopped short of the first down. So excellent job by Hammond Gilliam.
Needed 2, he got 3. Freeport goes 1st and 10 from the Baldwin 48. Little mix-up, but Easton goes the other way. A little counter play out of that shotgun formation, or the spread. Easton with the ball carrier, brought down that time. Nice coming up there with Andy Nosey again, number 9. Helped out also on the tackle by Chris Berg, coming in from his defensive end position.
And why that play works so well, Eddie, is because Baldwin's front is very aggressive. They're going to flow to the ball. So what they do is they give some influence onto the left side with the pitch, and they sneak the handoff back inside to the right side with Easton. That's why that play works so well against this defense.
We haven't seen all that many counter plays, and both teams like to run them. This time they're just going to send them right off that side. Easton gets a good block, hurdles forward. He gets the first down for Freeport.
Great effort by Javian Easton. He saw that the defender was coming low, so he knew if he took out his legs, he wasn't going to get the first down, so he decided to leave his feet and dive for the first down. Tremendous effort.
Got pickup of 7. Will Barrow makes the top, and now Freeport moving the stakes as they take it down to the 33-yard line of Baldwin. 1st and 10. Waiting for the play to be signaled in. It's actually at the 37-yard line. Scoreboard says the 33. We'll make 37. Here's that pitch. Here's Barnes going outside. Burnett. He's only 5'8", 198. Built like a fire plug. The backup tailback.
And he's got quick feet. You saw that cut once he hit the corner, and that cut caused Casey Carroll, the free safety, to come up and slip. He was in position to make the tackle, but when Burnett made his move, he slipped and wasn't able to make the tackle line of scrimmage. So you see the elusiveness of Burnett right there.
So Burnett picks up 5 before Joe Esposito makes the stop. We're down to 3:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. We are all tied up. Baldwin and Freeport at 28. Freeport, though, on the move. Not been a game of too many long drives since the 1st quarter. Big plays, a lot of big plays. Mills wants to make a big play right now. He's got Rittmeyer open, and he knocked down inside the 5-yard line. Excellent defensive play, knocked down by Alfonso Cobadia. But I tell you, Rittmeyer almost got to the house on that one.
I tell you what, Randy Mills stood in that pocket because Jose Esposito, the inside linebacker, was coming on a blitz, came free, but he knew that Rittmeyer was going to break free once he broke through the seam, so he hung in the pocket and delivered the football.
Had plenty of time for that play to unfold. It goes 27 yards. And here is Freeport with a drive that started from their 41-yard line. They're at the Baldwin 5. 1st down and goal to go. Bottom of the screen, number 5, Gilliam. In the slot is Easton. Driving for the end zone. He's got it. What a nice run. They brought Easton back inside. Javian Easton, who plays flanker and running back, goes in for 5 yards out. Gives Freeport the lead. 34-28 over Baldwin.
And that's that same play they used to get down the field. They had Easton in the backfield and two-back set offset on both sides of Mills. He fakes to the other back, and they hit Easton coming back the other way. And that's a good job of the guys up front. Trevor Mom and Stanley Gutierrez on that right side, opening up the holes.
So Freeport goes 8 plays, 59 yards, recaptures the lead. Palazzo in for the extra point. It's good. Freeport leads Baldwin 35-28, and there's a lot of football to go yet. With 3 minutes left in the third quarter, we'll come back.
It's 3 quality teams that are above the rest in this conference, so you want to avoid having to play, like you said, that tough opening round game, because anything can happen in the playoffs.
Barrow is deep to the near sideline. He has 2 kickoff touchdowns already, but it's Thomas who drops the ball again. He better go fall on it. Don't you have to fall the ball in the end zone?
No, and once the ball hits the ground in the end zone, in high school football, the referees will blow the ball dead. And
that's different than the college and pro rules.
Absolutely, and what's happening right now with the returners from Baldwin, they're going to be very happy when this quarter's over, because they are not dealing with the wind and the squib kicks of Freeport, and it's getting up there and winning, and they're not being able to catch the football. So they're going to be very happy when this quarter's over.
And Thomas has had a tough time adjusting to the wind on these kickoffs. So Baldwin goes 1st and 10 from the 20. The wind in their face, trailing by 7. A little pressure now on the Bruins as Casey Carroll brings him up. He's got Barrow at the bottom of the screen, the only receiver. From the power eye go the Bruins. Inside handoff as they try to power the way, but Freeport proved to have more muscle on that play. Baldwin trying to go off the left guard, a play which they had a little bit of success early on, but certainly in that play went nowhere. They tried to run number 18, Gibbons inside. He's stopped by Adam Woodmansey, the defensive end. It was a good play, Wayne.
Yeah, it's a terrific play, and you see the difference now in the second half, Eddie, for the first half. The Freeport defenders are tackling much better than they were in the first half. So, you know, for Baldwin right now, what they want to do, they want to get something going on the ground, and then turn the quarter over so they get the win at their back, and it also takes the win away from Freeport, who's been throwing the ball well in the third quarter.
Certainly Freeport's done a better job with the line of scrimmage here in the third quarter. Baldwin started to dominate the line of scrimmage in the second quarter, but now it's Freeport. Little razzle-dazzle as Carroll wants to throw the ball, and he gets it to Barrow. Sure-handed Barrow puts it away. First down. Will Barrow came into this game with 360 yards receiving yardage. He's got a few more.
And what you saw right there, Eddie, is you saw the experience of Will Barrow, an outstanding junior receiver, versus Taylor Easton, the sophomore corner. Easton had Barrow covered, but what happened was he turned around at the wrong time. The inexperience went to pick up the football, and then Will Barrow, the crafty veteran receiver, was able to make the catch along the sideline and take the big hit, hold on to football.
Barrow has all 4 catches here in the second half. All right, Baldwin goes 1st and 10 for the 37 after a pickup of 18 yards on the play. This time they go out from the eye and they shift. Freeport wants some illegal procedure call. Play is going to run, though, as Gibbons trying to move to the change, but flags are flying as they have been all day here.
Yeah, you know, you're going to get an illegal motion on this one. I mean, that's, you know, it was an obvious call for the officials, so it's going to back up. Baldwin another 5 yards. So once again, another penalty, another mistake, and it's been hurting both teams throughout this afternoon. It hasn't hurt them on the scoreboard, but it has hurt them in certain situations throughout the day.
In case you joined us late in the first half, we had 9, count them, 9 holding penalties. Officials have called it pretty much evenly in this ball game. Though Baldwin seemed to be picking up a few more penalties here in the third quarter, they'll mark it off against the Bruins. On the game, we've seen a change for Freeport in terms of carrying the ball. Easton has become more the primary ball carrier more than Barrett has. And in the game, Easton has had 5 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown for Freeport. So Baldwin backs it up to their own 32, 1:23 to go in the quarter. Baldwin goes 1st and 15.
You see Baldwin's taking their time, Eddie. They want this clock to run out, get to the fourth quarter, so they can get the win at their back.
Thomas You know, he just keeps going. He doesn't quit. I mean, that gang tack on this guy all the way. You know, time of possession, he looks like it's going to take 2 seconds to bring him down. It takes about 6 or 7.
No. You got to keep on with your energy and your aggressiveness with him, because he will break some tackles, and you can see his feet keep moving, and that's the sign of a good running back, where his feet keeps moving on contact. A lot of times, you know, running backs, when they get hit, they stop their feet and they go down. This kid, the feet keep turning. They keep turning until he's on the ground.
Steve Carroll calls the 5'6", 171-pound Ronnie Thomas his best running back. Wonderful leg drive. He's got 10 carries for 60 yards. He was stopped by Javian Easton on that play. Baldwin goes on a situation now, a second down and 12 situation. Freeport defense are swarming. They're playing the run well because they figure Baldwin may not want to throw to the wind.
Yeah, and Ronnie Thomas just lost his footing right there. The second time today he lost his footing. You know, he's so quick to the hole that when he makes that cut, he just slipped on that play right there. And it's going to be end of the third quarter, Eddie, and it should be a great fourth quarter.
Freeport with a 4-man rush. They don't blitz very much. Play action. In the crowd, trying to force that ball, and he will do that a lot. But an excellent job back there by the defensive back to break up play for Freeport. A good job as Javian Easton over there.
Yeah, you know, they come out in the 4 wides, they fake the draw, and everybody's running downfield. You know, Freeport is going to be playing soft in the secondary with the cover 2. That's the way they play, and with or without a lead. So it's very difficult to throw the ball downfield, especially on 3rd and 11 to throw that bomb. So very, very tough to complete that pass.
Well, Carroll likes to force it, especially when he's got Will Barrow open as he did then, or tried to think he had him open. But they're going to have to kick it away as Kroll will punt for Baldwin. Double return man for Freeport. Rettmeyer's got a chance on a short kick at his 35-yard line. He's going to give Freeport excellent field position. Ridden out about midfield. Freeport, really good field position as they go on offense.
Not a very good kick. Line drive. He has the wind at his back. You got to get it up there. Let the wind take it. You hit the line drive, and even with the wind, they only picked up 10 yards on that punt net.
29-yard kick, 19-yard return. That's what line drives hurt you. Freeport has the ball on Baldwin's side of the lawn as Freeport goes 1st and 10 from the Baldwin 49. 11:43 to go in the ball game. Freeport by 7. They run from the Northwestern spread with Randy Mills, the quarterback. Button hook pass is completed, bumped around, breaks one tackler, tries to get away from another. What a surge by Jet Bates, number 7. Bates shaking off one tackler, Hoover. Finally pulled down as he gets about 6 on the play.
Yeah, tremendous effort by Jet Bates. I mean, he did a good job. What I liked, he came back to the football and then took the big hit. You know, that's the problem. You know, some of these kids watching the NFL on Sunday, watching the what I call one of the worst tackling players around. The NFL got, they try to knock you out instead of wrapping. And right there, the Baldwin defender tried to knock him out instead of wrapping him.
Got to go for the ankles. Mills finding good moving on the left side. He gets excellent blocking that time on the left side of his line. The left guard doing an excellent job blocking was Femi Otolaije. And also Eric Healy, the center, knocking people out as Freeport has established a running game here in the second half.
Yeah, and Randy Mills has picked up his game. You know, he started off really good, came with 3 picks, but now in the second half he's been terrific. 2 touchdowns on the ground, and he's just been outstanding.
Going to give it to Easton. A little counter play that time, and Easton finds yardage too, as again the blocking for Freeport picked up. This time on the right side, the Freeport offensive line, Trevor Milne, 6'0", 230, the senior, along with Stanley Gutierrez, who's also a fine middle linebacker, but Gutierrez also a good blocking lineman.
And it's that same play, Eddie. You know, with Easton in the backfield, they're going to fake. They're going to fake the Barrett going one way, and they're going to crisscross him back, and they're having success. So the ball in front, the front 4, they need to protect and play their gaps. They cannot over-pursue once they see that first fake handoff, because right now they're getting trapped.
Freeport's taking advantage about 2nd and 4, but this time Baldwin comes through, and they take advantage of their aggressive play. Excellent job crashing up the middle, doing a real good job. Sean Healy, defensive tackle, leading the charge.
Yeah, and another way you could defend the run is by getting penetration, and penetration will kill a lot of running plays. And right there you saw Sean Healy with terrific penetration up front.
So that moves it back a yard, makes it 3rd and 5 for the Red Devils. 9:50 to go, clock running. Freeport leading Baldwin, 35-28. We've had wind, we've had rain. Now we have a little sun out. We have a lot of pressure on these two teams, unbeaten teams. Baldwin trying to dig in. Freeport getting the signals from the sidelines. Freeport's been very good at not having delay of game penalties, something they've had a problem at times this year. Mills wants to go deep. Underthrow. He had a man open. Out again, Jewett, Hammond, Gilliam, the speedster on the wide top of the screen getting open.
Yeah, and speedster was the proper adjective to describe Hammond Gilliam because he ran right by Will Barrow. Now, Will Barrow's not slow, so that says a lot about the speed of Hammond Gilliam. Will Barrow needs to keep his feet moving and open up and turn and start running with these receivers because he's standing flat-footed and they're able to run right by him.
Yeah, they like to throw in Barrow's area, and it's noted that he had times has not been as good a cover man as Baldwin would like to see. He certainly has speed, but 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Yeah, he gambles a lot, and you know he gets caught looking in the backfield sometimes, and he gets away from his technique, and that's what gets him in trouble. But he's a terrific athlete, and he's made 2 interceptions already.
Freeport goes on 4th and 5. They're going to go deep on Barrow again. Incomplete. Overthrowing the intended receiver. Going deep that time was number 6. Trying to get open. Couldn't find it. Jewett, Hammond, Gilliam. So, Baldwin holds.
Yeah, and very surprised by that attempt down the field. They beat him on the first play. It's fourth down and 5. You beat them deep already. Come back and run a hook route right in front of them.
Right.
Or, you know, they could try the middle of the field, which has been open most of the day. So, you know, they took this shot down the field, and now Baldwin has a chance now. They got the football back, 9:20 to go in the fourth quarter. It's been a terrific day so far, Eddie, and I'm expecting a big finish right here by both of these clubs.
So Baldwin goes on offense. We'll get the numbers for the Baldwin quarterback in a minute. They go 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Carroll 5 of 11 for 158 yards. So he's hit some big pass plays today. Had a little trouble with the accuracy.
Yeah, look for them to run the ball. They're trying to spread them out so they can run.
That's a little counter with Thomas. They dipsy-do, but the quarterback, Thomas up the middle, not much there.
Yeah, you can see that coming because they got their slot receivers way outside the hash marks, you know, and that's a hard throw for anybody to make when the slot receivers outside that far and the outside receivers are on the boundary. So you know what they're trying to do is spread the secondary out so they can run up the middle and hopefully break through that front and then have an open field to run the football.
Certainly didn't fool anybody that time because up to make the stop, Kyle Greenwood, the tackle. On the end, Mike McQueen. Greenwood is a junior, and so is McQueen. They're back next year. Thomas now 12 carries for 63 yards. Baldwin goes on 2nd down and 8. Carroll operating not on the tees, out of the power. He's back to what they like to do. They like that spread formation, Baldwin, too. Hoover with the catch. He's got the 1st down. He's in the Freeport territory. He's going to take more yardage. Finally run out of bounds inside the 35. Now, in the beginning of the year, Wayne, Steve Carroll thought he was going to use the spread formation as his primary formation. But he went with the power eye as a changeup. It worked so well, he kind of got away from the spread. Didn't use it that much.
Well, you know, 2 out of your top 3 skilled players are running back. So that's what he's been taking advantage of the whole year in Gibbons and Thomas. And then he's got Barrow on the outside. These 3 guys have been able to break off the long runs. And there you saw Jason Hoover, who's a backup receiver who has good hands. And you saw him break a tackle right there. And they're starting to try to pick on the young sophomore Taylor Easton out here on the left side.
That play went for 33 yards to Hoover. It looks like Baldwin was guilty of some movement, but they didn't call it. Thomas trying to go, may have brought the ball on the floor. May have fumbled. That would be the 2nd time he's fumbled the ball today. Fans in front of us a little upset. No illegal procedure called on Baldwin that time.
And they've been upset all afternoon because the yellow hankies have been all over the field. And right there you saw a fumble. And Ronnie Thomas got the ball stripped out, but Baldwin was able to recover.
So Baldwin picks up a couple of yards of the play, but now it's 2nd and 8 at the Freeport 33-yard line. We're down to 6:13 to go in the battle of the unbeatens. Freeport leading Baldwin 35-28. Baldwin's attack today has centered so much on Will Barrow with 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. He's made an interception. He's had some big receptions. Let's see if they find their big play guy. He's at the top of the screen again. Now he comes in motion. We're going to let him run the ball. Barrow around the right end. Flag goes down. Barrow gets a couple. Up to make the stop with a good tackle is Javian Eason.
Yeah, you're going to get a clip on Andrew Kroll, number 7. He went to crack back on the outside linebacker, Stephen Barrett, and that enabled Will Barrow to get around the corner. He cannot block in the back from the outside coming in. You know, a receiver blocking a linebacker. You got to get your head in front of him, and he wasn't able to do that. So, you know, once again, another penalty that cost the team a big gainer. And you know, it's quite funny because it seems like every penalty that's called comes on the play of a huge gainer for both sides. So that's why people are so upset out here today on both sides, because every time they get a big play, there's a penalty on both sides of the ball.
But it certainly hasn't stopped the teams from scoring with that many points. But what I've noticed through much of the game, the penalties had even out. But now the penalties seem to be hurting Baldwin more than Freeport. And Baldwin now down to 6:08. They've got themselves backed up in a 2nd and 18 situation at the Freeport 42-yard line. Let's see what they can do here. 4 wide receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom, 1 running back, Thomas. Nice intermediate throw. It is complete under pressure. Excellent toss that time. The ball completed to Peter Vanderdrift, number 80, with the catch. Nice throw by Carroll. Got the short man.
Yeah, good job by Vander with coming off the bench. He hasn't seen much action, but he was able to come up with a big first down, big catch on 2nd and long, giving him an opportunity to try to make the first down.
3rd down and 8 at the Freeport 33. Sun is out for the first time today. Nice ball picking play action. Did not fool Freeport, but Carroll breaks 2 tacklers, breaks a 3rd. Going to run into traffic, though. Excellent job by Freeport. They kept pursuing the play well, and finally up to make the stop for Freeport, Stanley Gutierrez.
And that was a terrific effort, and that's the Freeport swarming defense that we're used to seeing in the last couple of years by Russ Sellen's defense. And you saw Casey Carroll trying to make a play, but give him credit. He did not just throw the ball away into coverage, getting an interception. So he's given a chance to make a conversion on 4th down.
All right, big play for Baldwin. They got a 4th and 10 at the Freeport 35, down by a touchdown. Wayne Morris, what do you do?
Well, I think you got to go for it here because it's in that intermediate distance where it's too long for a field goal, and if you punt, you run the risk of putting it out the back of the end zone. You're not going to gain much. So I think they're going to go for it here. I think what they need to do is they need some protection because they haven't gotten a lot of protection in the last couple of drives, and they need to try to get something down the middle of the field against the cover 2 zone. The middle of the field is where you attack.
2 wide receivers, top of the screen, 2 at the bottom from the shotgun. Under pressure, Carroll's going to go down. He gets beaten on a tremendous push up the middle by Freeport. They sent number 2 barreling in to make the play. Excellent play by Freeport to make the stop. Stephen Barrett, the outside linebacker. Very good athlete, 5'10", 185. He's there.
And what a great call by Russ Sellen, who calls the defense. They came with the blitz for the first time today. That's the first time they blitzed all afternoon. Stephen Barrett came off the corner. They brought the safeties up, Eddie. They went man-to-man because they said, I feel our receivers, our DBs can cover your guys, and we're going to take a chance in blitz, and that was a huge play.
So the 4th sack of the day for Freeport, maybe the biggest one. 6:14 to go. They take over 1st and 10. The Red Devils have it their own 47, and they'll go from the sprint offense with Randy Mills, who's done a good job at quarterback. Gives it off to Burnett. Burnett finds room. He breaks it for a 1st down. He may not be as fast as Barrett, but he's got power and good feet.
Yeah, he's low to the ground. He's 5'7", 198 pounds. So he's short, but he's big. And you can see him burst through the hole right there. You know, he didn't get much action in the first half, so he's kind of like a relief pitcher. They brought him off the bench, and he's giving him a spark on the ground.
So Barnett gets 10 before Will Barrow makes a stop. Freeport moves the chains into Baldwin territory. 1st and 10 from the Bruins' 43-yard line.
And you see they've gone to 2 tight ends.
Mills trying to go off a little bit of a counter play on the left side, but Baldwin with good penetration. Gubadia came up, leading the charge, cut that down after a 3-yard pickup.
And I talked about before how they use Javian Eason in a lot of different formations. Right now, he's lined up at tight end because you know what? The wind is blowing hard. They got the lead, so they get out of their 4 wide receiver set. They go into the 2-back set, and they got 2 tight ends. They got Eason as tight end in the game, and now they're trying to run the football.
Well, they're going into the wind. They want to milk the clock if they can move it on the ground and make the clock go quicker. But they stay in that spread formation. They give it again. The same play, Burnett. He's got yardage. He's got a first down. He drives inside the Baldwin 25-yard line. Again, showing good feet. The backup tailback for Freeport coming off the bench. Jason Burnett, 5'8", 198 senior, known for his blocking. Not as fast as Barrett, but certainly very good balance.
Yeah, and you know, they said if they went to a traditional 2-back set, he would start. So they're in a 2-back set, and now he's in there getting some carries, and he's making things happen. He's in the backfield with Eric Rettmeyer, and he's doing a terrific job right now.
So Freeport on the move to try to put this game away if they can at the 23, 1st and 10 from the Baldwin 23. Same play again. Barnett over the right side. That time didn't get much. They ran that play 3 straight times now.
What they're saying, you know, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. So they run that same play. You have success. A lot of times, Eddie, coaches, they have success on certain plays, and they say, you know what, they'll figure it out, so let's go do something else. Well, no, not here. They've been working on that play, and they've just been running that play the entire second half.
Burnett 5 carries, 37 yards. That time it was Andy Nucia came up to make the stop for Baldwin, the linebacker. But still it's a 3-yard pickup for Freeport. It's 4:25 to go. Freeport leads by 7. They will go 2nd and 7 from the Baldwin 20.
4 minutes to go in the game.
4 minutes. It's been a long day of football, almost like an NFL game, Wayne Morris.
Yeah, you know, NFL game or World Series. You know, those World Series games going 4 hours. NFL games going 3.5 with all the overtimes we've seen so far this season in the NFL. And this game is
almost through. Well, started 2:15, got a late start. That time that did not go anywhere because coming right through the middle and hitting Rettmeyer down was Sean Healy, 6'3", 235, a senior. When he falls on you and you're 6 foot 170, something may crack inside you. You're going to feel that one tonight.
Yeah, you know, Sean Healy said, you fooled me once, you fooled me twice. Third time, I'm not having it. He shot through with penetration and made the big hit in the backfield. And that's what Baldwin needed because, you know, Freeport had been running pretty freely in the last couple of plays. And now it's a very important 3rd down and 11. Because, Eddie, if they get this first down right here, they'll be able to take this clock down even further because we've got 3:12. And Randy Mills right now, they're running the clock down. They're calling a timeout. So they're starting to use some clock.
All right, so Freeport wants to talk about it. 3rd and 11. See what they're going to run here with 3:04 to go in the game. Leading Baldwin 35-28. Freeport on the move. Again, they like to come back to that side with Rettmeyer, but again, the Baldwin defense stiffening now.
And what that does is it allows them to take, even if they took a knee, it would allow them to take about 1.5 minutes or close to 2 minutes off the clock if they were just took a knee for 3 or 4 straight plays. So right now, if they get another first down or they score, you know, it's going to be extremely difficult for Baldwin to come back in this game. So that was a huge penalty. So once again, the penalties have played a large part on both sides of the field by the referees, and we don't know what that unsupposed.
But especially in the 3rd and 4th quarter, Baldwin has been making more mistakes for the penalties. Now they go back up the middle, get a couple of yards, driving over the middle. Baldwin trying to dig into Freeport, moving the clock, moving very slowly as he gets up and walks back. In no hurry to get things done. Rettmeyer with the carrier. They put the ball down after a pickup of 2 or 3 yards, running inside the tackles. We're down to 2:05 to go. It'll bring up a 3rd down situation for Freeport. In no hurry. 3rd down and 7 from the Baldwin 10. Boy, that clock really flies along. It's down to 1:49. Mills will let that play clock go down before he runs a play. Trying to get the banging over the left side. Didn't get much that time as he set off to Barnett. Barnett gets a couple, but we're down to 1:31. It'll bring up a 4th down for Freeport. They're going to go for it.
I mean, we can see right here, they're lining up, they're going for it.
Watch the throw. Mills is throwing the ball well. He's got receivers top and bottom. He's going to stick on the ground. Easter tries to hurdle. He gets down close to the first down, but I don't think he got it. I think Bowen's going to get the ball back.
Yeah, it's the safe. They're taking the safe approach. You know, if this is college or pros and you're very confident in your field goal special teams unit, you kick the extra point. But in high school football, a lot of teams don't have quality kickers, and they don't kick the field goals, the extra points very well. So for Russ Sullivan, that was a safe. He decided to go with the safe call, and now they have to go to the length of the field without any time, with one timeout to try to tie them.
95 yards. And again, you talk about the college and the pros. It's much easier for those quarterbacks to take a team down the field. But remember, Casey Carroll got a good arm. He can throw it long. He likes to go long. But he's got to go 95 yards. He's got 1 minute and 23 seconds to do it. And you know the guy's going to be looking for. At the top of the screen, Will Barrow. Baldwin will go with slot right, slot left. 4 wide receivers. They'll go from the shotgun with Carroll at his goal line. Heading first complete as they're going to prevent defense. Nice catch for Baldwin. Number 7 puts it down. Catch for Baldwin was grabbed by Andrew Kroll, who's the kicker.
And the tough thing about this right now is that they're 2 of their best athletes, and Gibbons and Thomas, are sitting on the sideline because they don't play in this situation very often. They have 4 wide receivers. They got the blocking fullback in there for protection, and their 2 best athletes are on the sideline. So it's a difficult situation for Baldwin right now.
Yeah, they're not receivers, though. They're going with the people who they think can catch the football. Top of the screen is Barrow. They're going to put Kroll in motion to the top of the screen. Carroll wants to go that way. He's firing downfield off the hands of one man. Bounce around, incomplete. Almost. Flag goes down. We have a forward player shaking up to make Riedmeyer went up in the air to knock it down. And they're going to call a flag. I think what they're probably going to call is pass interference. Barrow, the man knocked down for Baldwin.
Yeah, they're gonna call pass interference on, I believe it was number 51, Eric Healy. Barrow was up in the air and Healy hit him low. So it's not going to be a personal foul penalty because it was a legal hit. It's just that the referee's saying that he got there a little bit too early.
All right, let's set the stage now. There are 57 seconds to go in the game. Freeport leading Baldwin 35-28. Baldwin started this drive from the 5-yard line. We wait for the officials to mark off the penalty. It'll give Baldwin decent field position, but they still got a long way to go here as they take the ball from the 32-yard line. They got 68 yards to go.
Yeah, and it's still a difficult situation. What Freeport needs to do is make sure they tackle them inbounds, take their time getting up off the pile. Conversely for Baldwin, they need to get the football, get as much as you can, and then get out of bounds to save that timeout. So they need to throw some things short to the outside because they have the 1 timeout, and when they cross midfield, they can take a shot down the middle once they get on the other side of midfield because they have that timeout.
They need to get the ball in the hands of Barrow, the big playmaker, get him some open space where he can make some things happen. Carroll's looking out here over the middle. Down he goes. Excellent sack by Freeport. They get to him. They push up the middle. Great defensive push that time by Sean Healy. 6'3", 235 senior, 3-year starter. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. Kyle Greenwood was 53. He makes the play. Big play for Greenwood. Very quick, very explosive. Number 53 for Freeport in to make the tackle. 21 unanswered points. Freeport has dominated the second half of play.
Yeah, this has been, I classify this as a heavyweight fight. This is one of them great heavyweight fights between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. They're going to hit each other. They're going to hit each other back. And whoever's left standing at the end is going to win. This has been a great football game.
Baldwin in a tough spot now. 2nd and 17 as they're penalized back to the 25-yard line. And the clock staring him in the face, 36 seconds. They need a huge play. Knocked down. He tried to go deep. Couldn't get it away. Now, again, the pressure defense coming up the middle for Freeport. Piling through there to make the play. Good defensive rush that time by Freeport. Number 71, Mike McQueen, defensive end.
Yeah, Carroll's looking to go down the middle of the field to Andrew Kroll up the seam, and he went to throw the ball and decided to pull it back down, and the ball slipped out of his hands and went forward. His arm was going forward, so he was untouched, and it's definitely a good call by the officials, incomplete pass.
I got to tell you something. A share of secret. Play-by-play guy is supposed to watch the quarterback. I wanted to see what the receivers were doing on that play. Because this is, when you get down to the end of the game, you want to see who's running free, if anybody's free. Baldwin's got 4. They're going to go trips. That's 3 wide receivers at the bottom. The key man closer to the sideline, Will Barrow. Baldwin goes on 3rd and long. Going to try to get it to Barrow. Almost intercepted, in and out of the hands of number 8. Had an opportunity there to make a big play was Javini Isan, number 8.
Yeah, what they need to do is they need to switch Barrow over to the other side and go against the younger Eason, because Javian Eason is an excellent defensive back, and you're not going to throw that alley-oop against Javian Eason because he's got good vertical leap. He's a great athlete. So they need to try that on the other side against the smaller, younger brother who they've been picking on early in the game.
That'd be Taylor Eason, who they picked on early in the game, only a sophomore.
But right now it's very difficult to complete a pass like that because you saw Eric Rettmeyer come over later Wood to Will Barrow and give him on the big hit once Javian Eason knocked down the ball.
All right, we're down to 22 seconds, and really Baldwin is backed out. This is the big play, certainly for them on 4th and 17. Doesn't get any bigger than that. They're trying to preserve an unbeaten season. Freeport also trying to hang on to their unbeaten season. So this should come down maybe to the final big play of the game for Baldwin, 4th and 17 from the 25. Freeport comes with a blitz. Freeport will take over. They stop Casey Carroll at the first down. Freeport is about to win this ball game and knock off Baldwin 35-28. And what a game, Wayne.
Oh, well, terrific ball game. Casey Carroll wasn't able to get the ball down the field. Freeport was too tough a situation. Freeport's going to take over, Eddie. And I can't say enough about both teams and how they performed this afternoon. This has been a terrific high school football game. We've had big plays. We've had teams be down by a substantial amount of points and get off the mat. Like you mentioned before, Freeport jumped out early, 14-0 lead. Baldwin comes back, scores 28 unanswered points. Then Freeport responds with 21 unanswered points. And now the game will be over, but these two teams have nothing to be ashamed about what they've done on the field today, and they'll look to meet again in the playoffs down the road.
So Steve Carroll brings his Baldwin team to Freeport for the 3rd time in 15 years, and for the 3rd time in 15 years Freeport wins, but this time it was much closer. For Russ Sellian, his regular season unbeaten streak goes to 22. He goes to a record of 10-2 against Steve Carroll when Freeport has played Baldwin.
Greg Schultz here at Freeport High School on the field with the winning coach of the Freeport Red Devils, Russ Sellian. Russ, talk about your team's performance today. 14-0 up quickly, gave up 28 unanswered points. The team did a great job responding.
It was a real roller coaster, and you know, we hadn't been in this situation before, and it was a good test for our kids to see how they're going to react to, you know, to things not going right all the time. You know, we've been playing pretty well. We had some bad breaks today. Baldwin played a great game, and we responded when we had to, and that's always a good sign.
Talk about the play of your quarterback, Randy Mills.
Randy had a little bit of a rough first half, and you know, we talked to him during halftime, said, hey, you know, it's easy to win 40-0, but you know, you got to get in a game like this to find out what you're made of. And he made some great plays down the stretch.
You feel your team now is in position to go all the way in the conference?
Well, we got 2 games left, and there are no easy games in this conference. You know, we have Hempstead, then we have Farmingdale, so let's just take it one game at a time.
They may do it all over again in November in the Conference 1 playoffs. So final score again, Freeport 35, Baldwin 28.